Let me make sure everything's working. I think my mic was muted. What's going on, guys? This is the first ever live chat. You guys wanted me to do them, so put some topics in the chat bar for me. What do you guys want to talk about? I think I fixed it. Yusuf, what's going on, man? I think you should be able to hear me now. I actually had the mic muted. I went and checked my settings to make sure everything was good. What do you want to talk about today, guys? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Yusuf. You're the man. Whew. There's a lot of stuff MMA going on right now. That Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez should be a lot of fun, man. I cannot wait for that fight. I think if Yair wins, even though he hasn't fought in forever, if you beat Max Holloway, you have to get a title shot off of that. It's just, that's such a tough fight. I'm surprised Yair Rodriguez took that fight. It's a big fight, but that's a very hard fight to win. And I don't know how he pulls it off, to be honest. He has to finish him early. Otherwise, Max is just going to drown him. Combinations, pressure. Yair's going to have to get him with a kick early, maybe first, second round. Otherwise, I don't know how he's going to beat, in a long fight, because it's going to be the main event, 5-round fight. I don't know how Yair would pull it off against Max Holloway. His cardio is next level. His volume is next level. I just really don't know if there's a way for him to pull it off if it gets past the second round. Throw some questions in the chat, my friends, and make sure to like the live stream too. You as a neutral, would you like to see Rose versus Sparza? Or you'd rather see other contenders? What do you mean other contenders? Do you mean, are you talking about Weili Zhang as another contender? I think it has to be Carla Esparza or it has to be Weili Zhang. I don't think there's really another option as of right now. I think it has to be one of those two. Obviously Joanna's already lost twice to Rose. There's no other real clear-cut contender at 115 right now. Carla has the win over Rose, so I wouldn't mind that fight. Jin79, what's going on, man? How you doing? I told you we were going to start doing some more of these live streams. I had some time tonight. I figured I'd do a live stream. Thanks for joining me. We're talking right now about Rose defending her belt. I would say it has to be Esparza or Weili Zhang. I wouldn't mind seeing Rose versus Esparza and let Weili get another fight or so. Just because, she did get brutally knocked out in the first round, regardless of how good we think she is. She got starched. Why should she get a rematch? But I do get it as well. Maybe she got caught with a punch and maybe she can, do something different in the rematch. Obviously, she's a great fighter, and I picked her to win personally. So, maybe. But either way, I'm happy with Rose versus anyone. I really love the women's 115-pound division is my favorite division as far as the women's divisions, 125 is barren, 135 is okay, 145 is non-existent. So 115 has the best contenders right now. Leonard, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining the live chat. Make sure you like it. Make sure you like the video for me. Joshua Fabia versus Diego Sanchez. McGregor Entertainment wants to promote it. That should be a good fight. I would tune in for Fabia versus Diego Sanchez. I would love to watch that fight. I would love to see if Fabia can tap him in 40 seconds like he said he would. That would be a lot of fun. And there'd be some great promotion behind it. I'd love to see the pre-fight interviews, the pre-fight press conference. Could you imagine the shit that Fabia would say in the pre-fight press conference? He would definitely use the word narrative about 60 times. He would definitely use the word man about 60 times. The media is driving the narrative, man. You can't see that, man. That's how he sounds. He literally sounds like a straight-up weirdo. Everything that comes out of his mouth is just so weird and bizarre. Everything he says. Every single thing he says. I would love to see those two fight. Also... But I don't think that's ever going to happen. The size and the fact that Fabia isn't even a professional fighter. But if the UFC booked that or McGregor Entertainment booked it, I think a lot of people would pay for it. I'd pay $20 to watch that freak show. And I'm against freak show fights, 100% against them. I wouldn't, I'm not a big fan of freak show fights, but I would love to watch that one. I would love to. Hopefully, Diego would beat the living shit out of him. Rose versus Sparza drops pay-per-views down. Maybe, but still, you could put it as a co-main event. Put a bigger fight on the top. You could do Rose versus Esparza as the co-main event to Nganu defending his belt against Derek Lewis. That would be a fun co-main event. And at the end of the day, I'm a guy who always campaigns for the right contenders to get the title shot, and it shouldn't be about this or shouldn't be about that. Popularity or this or that. And Carla has earned her shot, and she looked impressive in her fight against Yan Xiaonan. Charles Antonio Cote, thank you for joining me. Make sure to like the stream as well. Diego versus Fabia. We were just talking about that. I would love to see that fight, and I'm not a big fan of freak show fights. Jin79 said, even I'd pay, and I never pay. All right, put in the chat, how much would you guys pay? It's a one-fight card. It's only one fight on the whole entire card, but it's Diego Sanchez versus Joshua Fabia. How much would you guys pay for that pay-per-view? I'm curious. I pay about $20, $25. And everybody that's in here, make sure to like the stream for me. Do me a favor. I'm going to go tweet out the stream right now. £10. I won't even illegally stream. So, Yusuf, are you saying you're not watching it at all, or are you saying you would buy it? Make sure that works. Okay, that works. Awesome. Who do you guys want to see Tony Ferguson fight? Because I don't think the UFC can cut him right now. I wanted to talk about that. I would love to see Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz if Nate Diaz loses to Leon Edwards, which I believe he will. So we could get Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz at 170. Both guys would have fun fighting there. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Other than that, maybe the Nick Diaz fight. I want to give Tony Ferguson some fun fights, to end the career on if he is, at the end of his career. I don't want to see him get brutalized by up-and-coming contenders. I don't want to see him get brutalized by already known killers. He's fought 3 killers in his last 3 fights, and he's lost all 3 of them. Let's give him a manageable matchup, okay? Jurassic Mark, thanks for joining the live chat. Make sure you like the video. Who do you have in Edwards versus Diaz? I hate giving these early predictions, but I'm actually going to do a prediction video, I think, next week because there's not a lot of stuff going on right now in the MMA world. UFC 263 is 2 weeks from tomorrow, so I want to get some predictions done early next week. But I'm going to go with Leon Edwards. I just don't see how Diaz can really pull it off. He's going to be undersized. And even if, let's say, Nate Diaz is the better striker, which I'm not sure that he is, I think Leon's probably the better of the two. And also, I think Leon, if Diaz was getting the better of him in the striking, I think that Leon could take him down and hold him down. It's sad, and I love Nate Diaz. So I know a lot of people, when I pick against him, are probably going to be haters. But I just don't see, and I see Leon Edwards kicking that leg out from underneath of him, too. It'll be Southpaw versus Southpaw. Joey Diaz getting his execution ready. Tony and Cowboy rematch. I would agree with you on the Tony and Cowboy rematch, but I hate to see Cowboy get brutalized. Cowboy is not going to win that fight. He's going to get brutalized by Tony Ferguson. It's not going to be good for Cowboy, and I think the UFC wants to give Cowboy a manageable fight to end his career on, so they're probably going to give him some scrub. I don't know if that's good for Cal. It'd be good for Tony Ferguson. I'd love to see Tony Ferguson go out on a win. Let's see who else we got here. Ferguson versus Holloway. That'd be a lot of fun, I think, but I think Holloway would probably beat the shit out of him. Captain Charisma says Brock Lesnar versus Matt Riddle at light heavyweight. Who wins? I'll go Matt Riddle. I've never been a believer in Brock Lesnar. Leon's striking is way better. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But even if it wasn't better, let's say Nate Diaz was getting the better of the striking, I really just think that Leon would be able to take him down and out-grapple him. So, you know what I'm saying? So no matter what the path to victory is, I think Leon's going to outstrike him. And if he can't outstrike him for whatever reason, which I doubt, I think he can take him down. Leon striking, yeah, okay. But I can't wait for that UFC 263 card. We got Adesanya versus Vettori 2. We have Brandon Moreno rematching Figgy, which I'm super excited for that fight. That first fight was great. I can't wait to see, what adjustments each guy can make. Figueiredo versus Moreno. I think Figueiredo will probably win. I'll be doing my predictions very, very soon, within a week or so. And that should be an amazing flyweight fight. The flyweight division gets a lot of hate, but I'm loving it right now with Davison Figueiredo on top. And I would love to see Figueiredo versus DJ, but, obviously he's over in one championship. But that UFC 263 card is looking amazing. It's not the most, hyped up fights. Like Adesanya versus Vettori isn't really the fight that a lot of people wanted. They wanted the Whittaker rematch. But Vettori has earned his shot. Regardless if you think Whittaker has earned it more, Vettori has definitely earned his shot. And the first fight was super competitive. So, I know each guy, that was years ago, and each guy has changed quite a bit. But who knows what's liable to happen. And also, for me personally, I watched Kevin Holland light up Vettori in their last fight when they were standing. And I see, okay, well, if he can do that, what can Adesanya do? But also, guys come in and they fight, to the level of their opponents sometimes. So Vettori knows this is the biggest fight in his career. He's fighting for the middleweight championship. And he may bring something different than he did bring to that Kevin Holland fight, who was a late replacement, who we just watched get bludgeoned to death by, Derek Brunson. Rose Namajunas versus Francis Ngannou. Who wins? I'm going to go Rose Namajunas. I think she knocks him out with a head kick in the first round. Do you remember an MMA YouTube cartoon channel where Steven Seagal suffocated John Jones in an elevator with his flatulence? No, I do not remember that, my friend. But that's very strange. That's all I can say about that. I can't see anyone at middleweight beating Adesanya at this moment. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see anyone at middleweight beating Adesanya. The best hope to beat Adesanya, I really believe, is going to be a grappler. But if you look at the middleweight division, there's not any of those really heavy grapplers at middleweight right now. And I'm talking about guys like Chris Weidman in his prime, which I don't think Chris Weidman in his prime would have beat him either, but I'm just saying that type of fighter. Luke Rockhold in his prime. I've seen Luke Rockhold's talking a lot of shit about Adesanya right now. I believe Luke Rockhold in his prime could have beat Adesanya, but with his chin now, because Luke Rockhold has great top game and he has great jiu-jitsu, but his chin is a massive liability, and Adesanya is going to find that chin. And Adesanya's takedown defense is great. I know Yan was able to get him down, but, I think at this point in Rockhold's career, his chin is just made of glass. And I just don't see him being able to get by that. I know he's talking a lot of shit, and Rockhold's only, even though I'm disgusted by this, Rockhold's one win away. If he comes back and gets an impressive win, the UFC would give him a title shot, because right now the middleweight division is kind of stagnant. You have Vettori, obviously, and you have Whittaker, but people want fresh meat. And, they would love to see a former champion in Rockhold take on Adesanya. But I don't know if he's even going to be able to get those wins. Depending on who he fights, his jaw is just such a liability. His striking defense is such a liability. We've seen him time and time again just get clipped on that jaw and just get put out. Bisping did it. Vitor did it. Jan Blachowicz did it, which obviously Jan's an animal, but still. you take that many knockouts and, there starts to be some damage on your chin. Fights we need to see: Colby versus Masvidal, Jones versus Nganu, Holloway versus McGregor 2, Nunes versus Shevchenko 3, I would assume. Colby versus Masvidal, I love the storyline, but I don't know if we need to see that fight. I feel like I know Colby will win. It would be a lot of fun for the build-up. Maybe I think they're going to make Usman versus Colby next. But if Colby loses to Usman, then maybe we can make that Masvidal-Colby fight. But I don't like Masvidal's chances. His takedown defense is just a liability, but maybe he's worked on it a lot. He showcased it a little bit in that second Usman fight before he got knocked out. And we will see. I'm not a big fan of Colby, and I think his striking is terrible. If you guys remember, Damian Maia lit Colby up on the feet. Let's see. Jones versus Nganu is a fight we absolutely have to see. It sucks but who knows? I think it's still possible to happen. I think it's very possible to still happen. Jones has a new manager, and then it's kind of weird. Dana has confirmed multiple times that Nganu versus Lewis is happening at 265, but it's not official yet. And there's a reason it's not official yet, and it could be because Derek Lewis is trying to get more money too. He sees what's going on here, and the UFC has done this before. They did it with, I think it was Eddie Alvarez when he was fighting Rafael dos Anjos for the belt. Eddie Alvarez was trying to negotiate more money or something, and they said, well, if you don't want it, we'll give the next shot to Khabib. And they kind of used that as like to back him into a corner to force him to accept the fight. I think it was those guys. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I think it was those three. So there's a reason that Derek Lewis fight isn't signed yet. As far as Holloway versus McGregor 2, I would love to see it, and I think Holloway wins. But I don't know, would that happen at 155 or 145? Because Conor ain't ever going down to 145 again, I don't think. He's enjoying it too much. He picks his fight. He hasn't won a lightweight fight in 6 years, and he's still on the cusp of a title shot. So why would he even go back down and cut that weight when he doesn't need to? Rockhold's gone. Luke out cold. I've said this multiple times, but I seen a joke online. They said Luke Rockhold's wife kisses him on the chin at night to put him to sleep. Romero nearly killed Rockhold with that boom. Oh, remember Rockhold fell down and he had both his hands planted on the mat? And just that massive, I think it was a right hand by Yoel, just puts him out cold. It was brutal. And if you freeze frame it, Rockhold saw it coming, but he just couldn't get his hands up quick enough. Dana ruined that. I'm not sure what you were saying. But also, Rockhold was winning that Yoel Romero fight before he got finished. They are targeting Lewis versus Nganu for 265. I know. But it's weird that they've been talking about it for so long and it hasn't happened yet. Like, it's not officially official yet. I talked about it in a recent video, though. Joaquin, thank you for joining us, by the way. How do you know it's not set in stone? It's not official yet. It's nowhere. They've only said they're working on it. That's what they're targeting. So that means, it's not official. And they say it's going to happen. But a lot of times, they say that type of stuff, and the next thing you know, something else happens. And I believe also it's a negotiating technique, because there's no doubt in anyone's mind, no matter who you think should fight for the title next, that Jones should fight Nganu. It would be the biggest fight. No matter who you think should fight for the title next. That's what I meant. The Jones fight would be the biggest fight. And if Dana can make that fight for the numbers that he wants, he will. And so, if by some chance Jones says, okay, I'm ready to come to terms, or whatever, they work something out, I think they will, for sure. So, let me see something. How did that happen? Oh, let's see. I need a name. Who do you think Joanna Jędrzejczyk fights next? One fight left in contract. Who does Joanna fight next? Maybe if Weili doesn't fight for the belt, maybe we get to see those. For what? But maybe we can get the Weili Zhang rematch. I think a lot of people would like that. I'm trying to think who else could she fight right now. Who else would be available? Hold on. Let me pull up. I have a terrible memory sometimes. So let me pull up the rankings real quick. Who would make sense? Who could she fight now? So Marina Rodriguez is fighting Mackenzie Dern. There's really no answers for Joanna right now. I think it has to be either Weili Zhang or for a title, I think. Because who else is she going to fight? Everyone else is booked up. She's going to fight Nina Nunes? Maybe Claudia Gadelha again? I don't know. There's not a lot of options for Joanna. Let's see. By the way, guys, if you haven't liked the stream already, make sure you go and like the stream. Captain Charisma. Who is a fighter from Bellator you want to see the UFC sign? Douglas Lima, the welterweight champion over there. I would love to see him in the UFC. I would love to see how he compete. He looks like a great fighter. I know this week there's been a lot of talk of MVP coming over to the UFC. I wouldn't mind seeing him against UFC competition. There's a lot of great guys over in Bellator that don't get enough credit. You know, Bellator gets shit on a lot, but there is a lot of great guys over there. So you got to give them credit, and I would love to see Douglas Lima over in the UFC and either of the Pitbull brothers over in the UFC. I always get them confused, so whichever one is the champion, I would love to see him over here. But I would like to see either one. If Jones suddenly agrees to fight for what Dana will pay Derek Lewis, Derek Lewis wouldn't have to a sniff. I think I understand what you're saying, yeah. Without a doubt, Dana White is publicly negotiating. That's why he's saying, that the Derek Lewis fight is done. We're working on it. It's done deal, basically. He's showing Jones he will move on no matter what. And that's just what he does sometimes. I said it in one of my videos, but I think it was late last year. Not when I said it, but I said it recently in one of my videos. But late last year, if you guys don't remember, he was talking about Rose Namajunas was scared to fight Weili Zhang or she didn't want the fight. And that was public negotiating. We've seen it with Dana White time and time again. This person doesn't want to fight. That person doesn't want to fight. That doesn't mean they don't want to fight. That means they don't want to fight for what Dana's offering them. And some fights are just worth more. It's shown time and time again some fights are worth more. OG, like the stream. Channel's on fire. Thank you, man. Can you believe over 700 subscribers now? I remember we did a live stream for one of the fights a couple weeks ago. And I said, by the end of May, I want to hit 200 subscribers. And now I'm over 700. So thank you guys so much. Thank you everyone who joined this live stream too. I really appreciate you guys. Even if you're talking shit in the chat, I appreciate you. I appreciate the engagement. I appreciate all you guys liking the stream. It really means a lot. It helps the channel grow. Aside from UFC. Aside from the USA and Brazil, which country has the best fighters? Whoo, that's hard. That's very, very hard. I know, Russia gets a lot of hype, but it's hard. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure. Maybe Africa? Probably Africa. If you really think about it. You got, Adesanya, Usman, and Nganu. I think probably Africa. Off the top of my head, I'm terrible sometimes with these off the top of the head questions. I try to do my best, but I think probably Africa. Let me know if anybody thinks different. I know Russia could be in there as a contender. They have a lot of great guys as well. I'm trying to think of another country. There's a lot of great fighters. It's hard to really say. Ginge79, man, you've been here, for a few weeks now, and I always appreciate you. You watch all the videos. 1,000 subs by next week. That would be incredible. That would be awesome. I would be totally shocked. I'm so shocked right now just at 700. Oh yeah, true. Africa is a continent. I sound dumb now. Africa is a continent. I'm so stupid right now. But you know what I meant. But other than that, it has to be Russia. Russia's a country. So there you go, Russia then. It's so easy to get that mixed up though. Caucasus region, easy. What's that? What exactly is the Caucasus region? Is that in Russia or is that in Africa? Explain that one to me. I might be confused on that one too. But it'd be crazy. Over 700 subscribers so far. If I hit the 1,000 by next week, that would be insanity. But if you guys like these live chats, I know you guys have told me previously, do more of them. I'll try to start doing more of them. I like talking to you guys. It's always fun just to talk MMA. I've been trying to do for some of the lesser fights, do like fight companion type shit. But if you guys enjoy it, just let me know that you guys would tune in, and I'll start doing them more often. Whenever I get some free time during the week, boom, live chat. I'll try to schedule them as far ahead of time as I know I can do it. But it's fun getting in here and interacting in real time rather than doing videos and comments. Caucus in Africa, okay. Peter Yan beats Font, definitely. Peter Yan beats Font on the feet and on the ground if need be. Oh, okay, I see. I read that wrong. I thought so, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, I'm terrible with that type of shit. So. Well, one of the best continents that has some good fighters, other than North America and South America, would be Africa. So there's your answer to your other question. Let's see. After seeing MVP fracture Santos' skull, would you be opposed to seeing knee strikes to the head made illegal? Nah. That's a very rare occasion, and that just happened to be perfect. It was just the perfect flying knee. Just landed in the perfect spot and just crushed his skull. Randy Marsh, thank you for joining the live chat, man. I appreciate you. He said, you gone international. Big fan of the channel from Ireland. Thank you so much, man. Make sure you like the stream for me. I really do appreciate it. You're one of the first 1,000. I'm going to have 1,000 pretty soon according to Gin79. And you're one of the first 1,000. So I appreciate you, man. The channel's still young. I hope you're enjoying the content. I try to put out videos that I really believe in. I know a lot of channels tend to spam content just because it will get clicks. I try to do videos that I really want to do and that I feel like I know enough about to do and that I find interesting on a personal level. So I hope you guys are enjoying them. It's the Zabit Khabib Dagestan neck of the woods. Okay, that's what I thought of. I actually recently heard that. I was watching something and they were talking about the Caucasus in Russia. But I couldn't remember for sure. That's why I asked. But Captain Charisma, Randy Marsh, Gin79, OG, you guys are all awesome. You guys are some of the earliest subscribers, I think like first 500. And I appreciate all you guys. Who do you guys want to see Tony Ferguson fight next? Because I said Nate Diaz after he loses to Leon Edwards. But you guys have any other fun matchups that I'm not thinking of? Thoughts on the Sugar Show? I don't think anybody's going to like my thoughts on the Sugar Show. I think he's overrated. I think he's okay. I think the UFC is trying to give him an easy route. I just believe, look, if he wants to be, such a big, popular name fighter, why is he fighting Louis Smoka? Why is he fighting people out of the top 15? And then he talks mad shit. It's really distasteful, I think, when you lose a fight and then you trash the other guy that you lost to and you talk mad shit about him and he just knocked you out and outclassed you. And he did that about Marlon Vera. And it just doesn't look good at all on Sean O'Malley's part, to lose to a guy and then trash him. And you lost the entire fight and you say, well, I was just getting ready to beat his ass. Dude, you got stretchered out of the cage. Stretchered out. I forgot who it was. Somebody was throwing some nasty leg kicks. It was Edson Barboza versus Shane Burgos. And I said, if Shane Burgos was Sean O'Malley, he would have done damn near been airlifted out of the cage after that fight. Or after a couple of those kicks. What a guy to talk all the shit he talks. And then he's fighting people outside the top 15. And maybe that's the fight he could get on that time frame. I don't know. But it looks terrible. He's talking about how great he is and, he's this and he's that. and he's going to fight basically a bum. Lando Venata again. I really like Lando Venata's fighting style, so I can't trash him too much. But he's not going to be a world-class fighter by any means. He's not going to be contender material. He's not going to be championship material ever, would be my guess, as sad as it is to say. Just his style isn't conducive to, being a top guy. Sean O'Malley's a legit striker. Yeah, he's a good striker. He's a good striker, don't get me wrong. But I don't think he's ever going to be champion. Do you know what Peter Yan would do to Sean O'Malley? I mean, Jose Aldo would destroy him too. In the bantamweight division, it's one of the nastiest divisions in all the UFC. I mean, you look at the bantamweight division. How filthy is it? Look! Just in the top 10, you got Cody Stamann, Jimmy Rivera, Rafael Sunsel, Merab Davishvili, Dominic Cruz, Pedro Munoz, who's ranked number 8. That's criminal. Frankie Edgar, Marlon Moraes, Cody Garbrandt, Jose Aldo, Rob Font, Corey Sandhagen, Peter Yan. Even outside the top 15 is just absolutely nasty. I think I took a screenshot the other day. I saw some of these people who I had seen a list of outside the top 15 fighters, and it was just full. Sean O'Malley, Ricky Simone, Adrian Yanez, Song Yadong, Randy Costa, Davey Grant, Nathaniel Wood, Trevin Jones, Jonathan Martinez. There's so many great bantamweight fighters that, I don't know how anybody, like Sean O'Malley is going to make a run. Lando Venata versus Tony. That would be a fun fight. I think it would make sense. But did he not go down to featherweight? I might be confused. But either way, I wouldn't mind that fight. Maybe he's at lightweight. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. I thought he might have went down. But let's see. Yan is 2 years older than him. That's what's crazy. Yan is just so good. By the way, Yusuf, let me show you what I just purchased. Let me show you what I just purchased, my friend. Let me see if I can find it that quick. Let me see if it opens. I have obviously I have a lot of sports memorabilia. I bought this. Let me see if it comes up. Why can't it come up? Now, because I ordered it, it's no longer on the website, so now I got to Google it, and hopefully it comes up somewhere else. Okay, here it is. I just bought this. Look at that. Let me see if it focuses. That's an autographed Peter Yan, Jose Aldo framed autograph. That's going to be awesome to add to the collection. And I'm thinking about buying a Max Holloway autograph as well. I have quite a few autographs. I like collecting MMA memorabilia. But Peter Yan's a great one to have. I've always been a big believer in Peter Yan. I think he's going to be one of the all-time bantamweight greats. I think he'll regain his title, and I think we'll have a champion in Peter Yan for quite a while, even with the filthiness of the bantamweight division. Peter Yan would torture him. To be honest, he'd torture everyone at 135 and maybe even 145. I think he'd have some trouble at 145. I think Peter Yan is the perfect size for 135, and he's just so great everywhere. Like, what's Yan's weakness other than not knowing the rules? You know what I'm saying? So, other than that, I don't know what his weakness is. He has great defensive, whatever you want to call it, defensive striking. Great, kicks, great punches. He has good power. He has great leg kicks. He has amazing grappling. I mean, who would have thought he would go out there and ragdoll Aljamain Sterling? And I thought Yan was going to beat the brakes off him. But to go out there and ragdoll him the way he did, he has great takedown defense, great jiu-jitsu. He has great heart. He's super tough. I mean, Aldo was putting a pretty good beating on him in that first and second round, if I remember correctly. He got the brakes beaten out of him, Aldo. Yeah, that was by the end. It was nasty, but the fight was amazing up until that last round. But yeah, Peter Yan has a lot of fun fights coming up. Me personally, it sucks that Aljamain's the champion, though. Because right now there's so many fights. I would love to see Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen or TJ Dillashaw. And I want TJ Dillashaw to have to beat Corey Sandhagen before getting a title shot, because after doing what TJ Dillashaw did, there's no way he should walk right into a title shot at all. Jin79, I was surprised by how easy Yan manhandled Aljo. I thought he was going to be able to stuff the takedowns pretty easy, because I thought Yan had great takedown defense. But the way he was able to just ragdoll him, like he was the far superior grappler in that match. And the only way Aljamain Sterling, I believe, can get a win over Yan, which I think is highly unlikely, is that pressure early was leaving some openings for him. He was throwing so many strikes that if he is able to catch Yan in that pressure, in that early first round, that pressure, catch it with a big strike, maybe he could put him down. But Peter Yan hasn't even shown the slightest bit of a bad chin, you know what I mean, or even getting rocked. I don't think he's even been rocked in the UFC. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Can you believe Dobson dropped him out of all guys? No, can't believe it. It's just the bantamweight division. I don't think there's anything better right now. The bantamweight division is just so good. How long ago did he fight? So he fought Dotson in February of 2019. It wasn't even that long ago. His rise to the top was so fast. And I remember just thinking he looked so good. Yeah, Aljamain Sterling was just completely outclassed. I have no desire to even see the rematch. I know Yan got disqualified, but I want to see the division move on. Probably not going to happen. Thank you, CT, for joining the live chat, man. I appreciate it. Probably not going to happen, but can you imagine if Yair knocks out Max? That would be insanity. It would have to get him a title shot. Without a doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that the winner of that fight should be fighting for a title next. Max, because he deserves it, without a doubt. But also Yair, because if you beat Max, you deserve a title shot. You can't beat Max Holloway and not get a title shot next. You know what I mean? So, but it would have to be in the first round. I just don't know how he stops that crazy pressure, early. It's just that's going to be very, very hard. Max is going to pressure him, and Yair's gas tank isn't the greatest at all. Let's see what we got here. Leave that up. Yan is a nasty one. He's got killer instinct. Yes, he's so good too. I mean, there's nowhere that you can say he isn't just excellent. Sterling is going to get finished. I think so. I think he was on the borderline of getting finished in that fight before he, got illegally kneed. What did you guys think of that illegal knee? You guys tell me. Was Aljamain Sterling faking or not? Was he putting on a show, or was he really hurt that bad? Obviously, he got hit by it. But was he really hurt that bad or no? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Because I'm curious. I mean, obviously I have my opinion, but I'm always curious of other people's opinions. And I definitely believe that he's going to get finished in that rematch. It just sucks now we have to wait all the way till November. Captain Charisma, who do you think is the better trainer, Steven Seagal or Josh Fabia? Depends what you're training for. If you're training to be Spider-Man, then Fabia. But if you're training to be an elite world-class killer, it's got to be Steven Seagal. Yusuf says, to be fair, that knee was hard. Very true. It was hard. I'm not saying it wasn't. But he was definitely, putting on a show, in my opinion. I thought he wanted out of the fight. He knew he was going to lose. And he said, you know what? Let me see if I can catch a win here. I loved it, to be honest. It connected lovely. It was a filthy knee, and I don't even understand necessarily why those knees are illegal. But it is what it is. They're illegal. You have to follow the rules, And if you can't, that's your own fault. You should lose the title. I'm just wondering, if in this rematch, is Yan just going to go out there and be overconfident? Because if he goes in there too overconfident, he might catch a strike and lose himself. Randy Marsh. I immediately think of South Park when I hear your name. But thanks for being a fan from Ireland. Could Dillashaw ride to the top of the bantamweight division again? It's possible. I was so pissed when the T.J. Dillashaw Corey Sandhagen fight was canceled because I really want to see, how he's going to look in his return. He's had 2 years off, over 2 years off now. There'll be 2.5 years by the time he fights, and he's supposedly not going to be on the EPO anymore. So I'm curious if he comes out and looks a lot different or not. It would be very interesting, and especially coming in against a guy as good as Corey Sandhagen. Can he get that win? I don't know. And if he can't, is it because Corey Sandhagen is better? Or is it because of the so-called ring rust? Because I know he'll use that excuse if he loses. Is it because of, no longer using EPO? Or is it because Corey Sandhagen's an animal? We won't really know, but I'm excited to find out if, the gauge of TJ Dillashaw. I'm excited to see what he looks like because he could have been using that EPO in training camp just to be able to work out more, and he could have been doing this for years. Cody Garbrandt said it multiple times before their fights that he was using EPO. So I can't wait to see how he looks, and I was pissed when that fight got canceled. I think a lot of fights would be over far quicker if they allowed knees on the ground and headbutts, etc. Yeah, I don't know if I'd like headbutts or not, but knees to the ground, they would definitely end there's a lot of fights where you see a guy in a position where he could eat some nasty knees if it wasn't illegal, but it's just not there. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to know what the effect would be until they were illegal because people would start adapting, being able to use them more. People would start adapting better defense, putting themselves in position, where they wouldn't be able to eat those knees. But they are a deadly weapon. I forgot who it was, but somebody was a downed opponent, and they grabbed them from the back and lifted them up and then threw a knee. And it was an awesome technique they used to make sure it was a legal knee. But Kian landed a filthy one on Aljamain Sterling. But I still think, the way he was just like, Ben Askren recovered quicker from that brutal, stiff KO, recovered quicker than Aljamain Sterling recovered from that knee to the head. So he got flying knee KO'd by Jorge Masvidal. And, yeah. So, Jin79, that 12-6 elbow rule is ridiculous. Yeah, it's stupid. And, very rarely is a guy even throwing it. And it literally has to be straight up and down. And a lot of times fighters will throw them like this, and the referee will still be complaining. Like, do they not even know what a 12-6 is? Kevin Weeks, what's up, man? How are you doing? I can't wait to start doing these chats more often. Guys, I appreciate you guys all. We're building a small MMA community here with none of that, toxic where everyone thinks they're right about this and everyone's screaming at each other and saying nasty shit all the time. And I can't wait. I can't wait for this to grow more and more. Eventually, we're going to see like 20 people in here and 50 people in here and 100 people in here. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to try to start doing these streams more often. Ginge says, Aljo definitely yeah, without a doubt, man. The way he was blinking so hard. I mean, we've seen guys KO'd stiff recover faster than Aljamain Sterling recovered from a knee that he wasn't even KO'd stiff from. I mean, I don't remember the last time I seen a guy, act like that even after a blatant KO. Even Jorge Masvidal recovered quicker. I really can't think of a person, who's acted like that after, even being KO'd. So I can't wait for Yan to reclaim his title so that way we can see some legit contenders because Aljamain Sterling is passed up. He's never going to be champion, I don't think, unless he gets lucky in some of that early pressure. I'm doing good, by the way, Kevin. Thank you for asking. What happened to Sully? Sully needed to take a break, and we didn't feel right, so, that's why we have this channel. Maybe one day we'll go back to that, but it's sad to say, I don't know. Are you the Kevin Weeks? Yeah. Even Overeem woke up after Nganu. Exactly. Overeem got brutally KO'd uppercut. And he was up faster than Aljamain Sterling was. It was ridiculous. I mean, it was such a performance. I would have rather him just say, you know what, I can't continue. Even if he acted normal, he said, I just took a brutal knee. I don't want to continue. I got a headache. I don't even care. It was just, it's just the theater of it all, and then him pretending like he was. It just would left a bad taste in my mouth. Even though I was on his side when it happened, you can't throw an illegal knee and get away with it. Do you think Gregor Gillespie can make a run at lightweight title someday? I think he'd be better at 145. I'm not sure. I think he probably could. Somebody asked me the other day, and they had a great point on something I didn't think of. And basically what they said, let me go pull up some names real quick so I can give you a better, statement of what they said. They said, basically, as good as the lightweight division is, a lot of the top names are getting older and closer to retirement. Not that they're on the verge of retirement right now, but they're talking in the next couple of years, a lot of big names at lightweight are going to retire. You have, Gaethje, Dariush, Chandler, Connor, Tony Ferguson, Dos Anjos are all kind of getting up there where, some of them in the next couple of years will be retiring. And they asked me, basically, what do I think will happen to the lightweight division after that happens? And I basically said, I would see names like Gregor Gillespie, Islam Makhachev, kind of starting to come up and fill in that division. And also the fact that we have a Charles Oliveira as champion, who's a young, I think he's 30, 31, young champion. So I could see him making, with his grappling base and his heavy wrestling and his stamina, I think he could. His striking definitely leaves a lot to be desired. He got brutally KO'd by Kevin Lee. But if he can work on that striking, we've seen what Khabib is able to do, with his heavy wrestling base. And maybe he could do the same. I don't know. But I'd like to see. I'd like to find out. What? I don't know what Ginge is trying to say. As a film where Johnny Depp plays the main character. I don't know what that means, but I guess you guys are having a conversation off in the chat, which is awesome. I feel John Jones doesn't really want to fight anymore. I summarized that he wants upfront money because he is trying to do a money grab. If he can't beat Francis, why not fight Stipe? I think in his mind, and again, I don't know, you could be totally right. I think in his mind, if he's going up to heavyweight, he wants the biggest fight possible. And Francis Ngannou is the biggest fight possible. If you're considered the GOAT of the UFC, which most people do consider him that, the greatest of all time, why not, put him in a title fight with Francis Ngannou? That's the fight that people want to see. I don't hear one person say they don't want to see that fight. So I think that's why. Hopefully they can come to some type of agreement because I really do want to see that fight. But who knows? If the Derek Lewis fight does happen, he may win the fight. And then we may see John Jones versus Derek Lewis. I think John Jones wants to fight whoever's champion. And I know technically before he was trying to fight Nganu before he was champion, but Ngannou was a killer on his way to a title shot where Stipe is kind of, he is considered the greatest of all time heavyweight, but he's coming off a brutal knockout loss. So I think even if he were to go out there and beat the brakes off Stipe, a lot of people would excuse it. Well, Stipe's coming off a big KO from Nganu. I would much prefer John Jones versus Francis Ngannou than John Jones versus Stipe, especially at this point. What should the UFC change, judging, or anything you would want to do? Well, first off, I think that, the UFC technically doesn't control judging. That's the Athletic Commission. But what can the Athletic Commission of each state do to make judging better? I think they should have more judges, and I think they should have some judges in the back watching the broadcast without any, commentary or anything. And then, even if it was a test, and then compare those judges' scorecards, we could see if we get some better judging. I don't know. I think you have to educate these guys more of what they're watching. And I also think I wouldn't mind even 5 judges. Maybe you have 2 in the back watching the broadcast with no commentary, of course. And maybe you have 3 like normal around the cage. But it's hard to see. And I don't know if the judges have monitors or not. It's hard to see sometimes when you're cage side. Good point. But even Gregor is 34 years old, so his time is now. Very true. I didn't even think of that. I forgot he was up there in age. So the lightweight division is going to have some serious turnover in the next 3 to 4 years, for sure. Can Joshua Fabia beat Aljamain Sterling? Absolutely. As long as he gets that death choke, it's over for Aljamain. By the way, Michael H., are you subscribed? This is the first time I've seen you in the chat. If you're not subscribed, make sure you go subscribe. The judging definitely needs to change. It's like Russian roulette going to a decision. Very true. The judging has been terrible lately. It's so annoying too when you get a fight that you feel like somebody clearly won, and the next thing you know, uh, you get the wrong winner, or even when you get the right winner, but you get these off the wall decisions. It kind of ruins it a little bit. It takes away from it a little bit. Are there any champ versus champ fights you'd like to see? Uh, Let me think. I would like to see, but we talked about this before, but this isn't going to happen. I would like to see Usman versus Adesanya. I think that would be a very fun matchup. I would also like to see. I would not mind seeing Alexander Volkanovski at lightweight, which is a fight that nobody ever mentions. That would be a super fun fight. Could you imagine Volkanovski versus Charles Oliveira? That would be a lot of fun. And that there's some great fights, but I think the Usman versus Adesanya would be number one on my champ versus champ right now. And it would be, but it's never going to happen because they're friends, whatever. They're never going to fight each other. Big Rocker Johnson. Thank you for tuning into the live chat. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video. I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe too. You said, who are the favorites to win TUF 29? To be honest, I have no idea. I haven't paid super close attention to it. There's been so much stuff going on. That's been one of the last things I've been paying attention to. JJ says, when does TUF start and where do I watch? It's on ESPN Plus, and it's starting in the next couple weeks. So I don't remember the exact date. Big Rocker Johnson says, I predict Gilbert Urbina for 185 and Vince Murdoch for 135. I'll have to check it out. I got to see some of these names and pay attention to it. I haven't really been paying attention too much to TUF right now. There's so much other shit going on. It's hard. School of Self-Awareness has great t-shirts for sale. Usman versus Khabib would have been a banger. I wanted that fight badly. That fight would have been a lot of fun. But unfortunately, Khabib's gone, and I don't believe he's ever coming back. And even if he does, it won't be for a long while. But I talked about that fight for quite a bit. I really wanted to see that fight. But it is what it is. Let me see. Wonder Boy versus Gilbert Burns, UFC 264. I think I've been asked that before. And I'm going to go with, and I may change my mind. Off the top of my head, Wonder Boy. I'm going to go Wonder Boy right now. Baz94, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. We were talking about Tony Ferguson, who should he fight next, and one of my main picks for who should he fight next, Nate Diaz after he loses to Leon Edwards. I see my favorite gatekeeper, Derek Brunson, get a title shot. Do you think he beats Darren Till? A good wrestler always has a chance. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say no. And I also believe Derek Brunson is more than a gatekeeper. I think he's a title keeper. You beat him, you go for a title. And I think, Robert Whittaker did it. Adesanya did it. A lot of guys have done it. And Derek Brunson is a great fighter, but, he's very limited in his skill set. Who should Carlos Diego Fajeda fight next? That is a very good question. There's not really many matchups for him right now. Maybe Dan Hooker? But that's probably too high up. He's probably going to have to fight someone out of the top 15. And I can't think of someone right off the top of my head right now. He just lost to Gregor Gillespie. And that was an amazing fight, by the way. I love that Gregor Gillespie versus Carlos Diego Ferreira fight. That was amazing. But also, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with all these comments. If you guys haven't already, make sure to like the stream. Just do me that favor. I really appreciate it. But also, as far as Derek Brunson beating Darren Till, Derek Brunson beating Darren Till. I think Brunson has a chance, but I think, probably Darren Till is going to be able to decision him or potentially finish him. All right, let me see. I already went over the Carlos Diego Fajeda. What about Tony versus George? Is that a good money fight for Tony? Is that a good money fight for Tony? I think George beats him. Jorge Masvidal, I think he beats him. I don't think that's a good matchup for him. And I want Tony to get a win. So let him go fight Ally Quinta. Let him go fight, You know, that'd be another good fight for Diego Fajeda, maybe Ally Quinta. But you know, I think Tony Ferguson could fight Dan Hooker. You know, I want to see him get a winnable fight, Baz. I want to see him get a winnable fight, and I don't think Jorge Masvidal is a winnable fight. And also, Jorge Masvidal is bigger than him. So, and the loser probably retire. Okay, hold on. I'm reading multiple comments now. What about Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler? That'd be a fun fight. And I think Tony could probably beat Michael Chandler. Maybe they make that fight next. I wouldn't mind that. Loser can retire. Chandler versus Gaethje needs to happen. That fight should be awesome. I hope they make that fight. That should be a sweet fight. And Ginge says definitely. Other than MMA, what other sports do you watch? Pretty much MMA. I watch a little bit of everything in a way, but mainly MMA is just constantly going on. There's always so much to pay attention to. You know, sometimes I can't even keep up with MMA in general. There's so much stuff to talk about, so much stuff going on. But I watch a little bit. I watch football. I watch a little bit of baseball. Watch a little bit of hockey. A very tiny bit of basketball occasionally. But that's pretty much it. But mainly MMA. I'm just MMA all the time. Every fight I'm trying to watch. Even, you know, a lot of the smaller cards. And I'm really trying to, and I have in the past for the most part, but I'm really trying to get into watching every single fight on the card no matter what. But sometimes it's so hard when you have these 8-hour cards. You know, you got stuff to do. And so it's hard to tune in at 5 p.m. for the early prelims. But I really like to see every fight on the card. But I'm going to start. Tony versus RDA. That'd be an okay fight. He beat RDA in the past, so we could really gauge how much each guy has changed. I want to see Tony fight 170 again. He has not fought there since the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, let him fight Nate Diaz at 170 after Nate loses to Leon Edwards. Look at you, Big Rocker Johnson. I already said that a million times in this chat. Yep, I think that's the best fight right now. Or Tony Ferguson. Nick Diaz wants to return. I wouldn't mind Tony Ferguson versus Nick Diaz. Would anybody mind that? Or even give me Tony Ferguson versus Robbie Lawler at 170. That'd be a fun fight too. I never thought of that until now. Let's see. Who else could he fight at 170? I'm going to go look real quick. Oh, because it's hard thinking of people off the top of my head. A lot of those are tough names for Tony. Yeah, I don't want to see him fight anyone else other than those names. There's so many tough matchups out there at lightweight and at 170. But I think the Nate Diaz is the best fight. Nate or Nick, let Tony Ferguson fight one of those. And, you know, whoever loses can go retire. Because I don't think... Could you imagine if Nate Diaz beats Leon Edwards? I don't think it's very likely to happen, but that would be absolutely insane if he were to pull that off. Am I the only one interested in Vicente Luque versus Colby Covington? The power of Luque and the BJJ threat versus the pace and wrestling of Covington. I'm interested in Vicente Luque versus anyone. You could sign me up right now. If they announced Kamaru Usman versus Vicente Luque, I would be hyped for that fight. Vicente Luque is a great fighter. He's a super technical fighter. Obviously, Wonder Boy beat him up, but I love his style matchup versus any of those guys. Tony versus Woodley. Stop. I think Woodley got cut from the UFC. What if Dana gave us Tony versus Woodley if Tyron was still in the UFC? How would you react? I wouldn't like that at all. I wouldn't like it at all. I'm pretty sure Woodley would probably win. The size disadvantage would be massive. You know, Woodley's a big 170er. And I think he'd be able to, you know, take Tony down and hold him down. It'd be another more of the same from his last two fights. Izzy versus Rob in December in New Zealand. I would love to see that. I'm excited for that fight. Rob Whittaker has made his way back to a title shot, and he deserves it. And I hope we don't get no funny business in the middleweight division, you know, because I know there was some talk of Robert Whittaker goes to the back of the line. That should not be it at all. Whittaker has earned his shot. He's a champion who lost. He took his loss with some pride. He worked his way back. He beat 3 legit guys and earned himself a title shot, and he should be getting it, regardless of who's champion. Woodley's cardio is even worse than Conor's. I know. Woodley's cardio is terrible. But somehow he survives. So he goes all 5 rounds. I mean, he looks exhausted, but he doesn't really do much. But Conor's cardio is very strange because sometimes it seems like he gets second wins, but sometimes it seems like he's exhausted too. Like he looked very exhausted in a lot of his fights, and then the next thing you know, next round he comes out and he looks rejuvenated. That's very strange. It's a good time to be a fan right now, without a doubt. Do you know how filthy July is? July, we're going to get Conor versus Dustin 2. We're going to get Max versus Yair. Sandhagen versus Dillashaw all in the same month. July is just absolutely crazy. And we're almost in June now. And UFC 263 is incredible as well. Would you like to see Till versus Leon Edwards if Till was still fighting at 170? I would love to see that fight. That would be a great fight. I think it would make a lot of sense in the division too. I would be super excited. The style matchup would be fan-friendly. Both guys being strikers. Both guys being really technical strikers. I would love to see Leon Edwards versus Darren Till. Who would you guys pick to win that fight? I can't really pick. I'm thinking, but it's hard for me to guess. I'd probably go Leon Edwards. But Leon Edwards still really needs to prove himself. He looks great, but he hasn't fought any upper echelon guys. That's why it sucks. I'm happy for the Nate Diaz fight, but at the same time, it doesn't tell you much. A win over Nate Diaz at 170 doesn't really say much. And it sucks to say. I'm a big Nate Diaz fan, but it doesn't say much at all. Is TJ Dillashaw the best bantamweight of all time? Yes or yes? Absolutely not. He hasn't done enough. He hasn't done enough, even if you ignore the EPOUs. He hasn't done enough in the division to earn that title. To see Hamzat is the real deal. I want to see Hamzat versus Rockhold. Rockhold wants to fight, and there's a new up-and-comer in Hamzat. Put them 2 in the octagon. I would not mind that. I think that'd be crazy. I think Hamzat is looking for a little bit easier entry back into the cage, though. Is TJ going to beat Sandhagen? Possibility. I'm going to say no, though. You know what I always see people doing on the live chats, and I always wanted to try it on my live. Throw me some true or false, and I'll give you answers to those. True or false questions. Put them in the chat. I've always wanted to do those in the live chat. I like how you said in the Zabit video, give me Zabit versus Holloway. Yes. Funny, right? Funny. Well, we're getting Yair versus Holloway, so that's the next best thing. Who has the best chance against Usman? I'm going to go Leon Edwards. I think Leon Edwards has gotten a lot better since their first fight. I think Usman has gotten better too. But I think Edwards can keep it on the feet and, potentially, beat up Usman on the feet. Because I think either Leon Edwards or Wonderboy can keep the fight standing. I think Usman's in a lot of trouble because even though Usman's striking has been getting better and better, I think that he would be in a lot of trouble against those 2 guys. Volkanovski got a cooking program. I don't know what that means. Oh, are you saying he's using roids? Is that what you're saying? I'm going to say false if that's the question. But definitely Leon Edwards as far as best chance against Usman. I would love to see Vicente Luque versus him too. That would be a super fun fight. Anybody, Wonderboy. People keep saying Colby has the best shot. I don't think so. Colby's striking is terrible. The wrestling cancels each other out, and Usman's striking is getting better. If Korean Zombie beats Dan Ige, they should do Korean Zombie versus Edson Barboza. Without a doubt, true. True on that one. Let me see what we got going on here. If Vettori gets the belt, Usman will go up a division and take it off of him. I'll say true. A cooking program as in cooking food on camera. Sure, true. I don't know. Diego fights in the UFC one last time. I'll say false. Ignoring a no contest fight, how many fights did Renan Barão win in a row before Dillashaw beat him twice? I think it was 29. 29 or 30, I believe. And I didn't look that up. Like a TV show. True or false? Volkanovski can be a double champ. It's possible, but I'm going to say false. I just don't think he can beat Oliveira. I think he goes up and the size disadvantage is going to be too much. But let me know, Michael H. Am I right on that? I think it was 29, but it might be 30. So he has? Okay. 32. I remember at some point in time, it was around 30, so I couldn't remember exactly what it was. But you know what's crazy? Now that you bring up Renan Barão, I'm actually working on a video. And by working on it, it's an idea for a video. The title is going to be something along the lines of fighters who lost and were never the same again. And one of those fighters in that video, I'm going to do like 3 fighters who lost a fight and then were never the same again. And one of those fighters is going to be Renan Barão because he lost to TJ Dillashaw. He was never the same again. It was crazy what that beating and that amount of damage that TJ Dillashaw put on him, and he was never able to regain anything. Yeah, he has. Okay, Ginge. Close 32. If Leon beats Nate, when you see Usman versus Leon, maybe co-main Francis versus Lewis. I doubt it. I think they would make that a main event, Usman versus Leon, but it's possible. I would love to see it. Oliveira is a nightmare matchup for Khabib. Yes. But I'd still favor Khabib. But I think Oliveira has the worst skill set for a Khabib fight. But Khabib is just so good. Khabib's jiu-jitsu is so good. I think he would be able to pound Oliveira. I would pick Khabib to win that fight. But I would love to see it, my friend. What's going on, my friend from Kuwait? Thank you for joining the live chat. I appreciate you. We're doing true or false questions right now. So keep throwing some true or false questions in there. Good morning. Here it's good night, but good morning to you. Well, let me pick that up. It's actually about a thunderstorm here. I saw a video earlier, and Colby actually showed respect for Woodley. He said Woodley was a champion and a great fighter. That's not surprising. I mean, Colby's whole thing is an act. He's just looking for attention. So he probably really does have respect for some of these guys, but he just doesn't show it because he's looking to draw some type of attention. That's just the way he is. And by the way, Pities and STI, thank you for joining us. Who else just joined? I think I already told you, my friend from Kuwait. Good morning, my friend. Usman the Juiceman's head will deflate like a balloon when he gets exposed from roids. If he gets caught, then yes, he will deflate. But I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence. I know a lot of people think he's on roids, but there has been no evidence. There's been no failed tests. And I know that doesn't mean anything, but it's hard for me to accuse the guy, when he hasn't done anything. I think, if anything, if Usman's cheating at all, he's probably on EPO himself. His cardio is next level. Did you hear that they're trying to make Lewis versus Nganu in Houston? Yes, I did. Gaethje champ at the end of 2021. At the end of 2021, I'm going to say false. But I think with Khabib gone, Gaethje does have a good chance of becoming champion. I think he's probably second best. Who should Tom Spinell fight next? Heavyweight division. I'm assuming you're talking about Tom Aspinall. Maybe the winner of Augusto Sakai versus Jairzinho, maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's too big of a step for him. I think you got Marcin Tybura fighting Walt Harris. He could fight the winner of that. But he's an interesting prospect. Everyone is on roids. Okay, Cobra Commander, a.k.a. Nate Diaz. Everyone's on steroids. Also, there's rumors that Ortega and Volkanovski will be co-main to Yan versus Glover. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, originally that fight was on the Nganu versus Stipe co-main event. So I could see them doing that again. I'm pissed we have to wait so long for that fight. I mean, we had to wait for the Ultimate Fighter to air, and then we got to wait all the way till September. And they were supposed to fight originally in March, but they needed people for the the Ultimate Fighter. So I guess that is what it is. Let me ask you this, guys. How often would you want me to do a live stream that you guys would join and have these type of live chats? Like if I did them like twice a week, would you guys always join them? Let me know in the chat. Because I'll try to do them more often if you guys really want to do them. I'm really trying to grow this channel. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers soon. That's an awesome goal. I can't believe I'm already over 700. I appreciate all you guys for subscribing and joining me for these videos. I really do appreciate it. I don't think Usman is on roids, but he has every sign that he is. Granite chin, huge muscle, never fatigue or gasses out, insane power, extremely strong, and tremendously strong. Okay, that's the last two is the same. Let's see. They could also be a sign of EPO because EPO gives you cardio and then it gives you better recovery and stuff and you can train more. So maybe that's what he's doing if he's doing anything. And they also can make you have unlimited gas tanks. So he's using it to train, therefore he's getting better, bigger, stronger. And then on top of that, it makes his cardio go through the roof. Let's see. Also, there's rumors Ortega and Volkanovski will be co-main to Yan versus Glover. Would not surprise me. That would be the right time frame. I think I already said that. Do you think Yan versus Glover will stay main event or maybe Usman main events? I think that'll be a different card. I think Usman will fight on a different card. Cobra Commander. Are you subscribed, man? I think this is the first time I've seen your name. Let me know if maybe I'm forgetting something. Once a week on the same day, same time, unless there's some real breaking news. Maybe I'll try to do that. I got to figure out what day and time I want to do it at. That's the hard part. And my friend from Kuwait says, yes, I really enjoy it. Awesome, man. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to start doing it at least once a week, same day, same time. I just got to figure out a day and time. We talked about this in an earlier fight stream. But what other MMA channels do you guys really like? Let me know what other YouTube channels you're watching. I'm curious. Because I had a hard time finding some really good MMA content that I liked. And that was one of the main driving forces behind starting an MMA channel. I just feel like a lot of people, what I don't like is MMA channels that they get on here and they insist everything they say is set in stone. Like, I'm right about this. It doesn't matter what you think. And I love to talk to people and understand their opinions. And, maybe I'll change my mind. But a lot of these channels just think they're know-it-alls and they know everything. And it just drives me nuts. And that was, one of the reasons why I was like, I really want to start my own channel and, see what happens. And it seems like people are enjoying the content. So I really appreciate you guys. I can't believe it. I'm in awe. I know that Usman is strong, but if you were to arm wrestle Usman, how strong do you think he would be? I feel like he's strong, but when you feel his strength, it's insane, kind of like Khabib. Probably. I think he's probably insanely strong. He looks insanely strong. Big Rocker Johnson says, I like the Weasel. I've seen a little bit of his content. The only thing I don't like about the Weasel is I feel like, first off, it's impersonal. I don't think he ever shows his face. And then on top of that, he uses a lot of really clickbaity, titles and thumbnails, like what really happened. And there's really nothing to, Gambling Addicts is an underrated channel. Big Rocker Johnson, how long have you been subscribed here? I'm curious. How long have you been subscribed to me? And I hope you're enjoying the content. I've been doing my best, but you never know. If you guys don't like it, that's fine. I just can't believe over 700 subscribers. I know CT was in here. CT, my man with the red picture. You were in here around like 20 subscribers or so, if I remember correctly. That's insane to me, dude. We are at over 700. What the hell? How is that even possible? We talked about it before. I think. As far as live, I watched Luke Thomas. I really like Jimmy Smith, but he doesn't do them anymore. I used to really love Luke Thomas back in the day, a few years back. But ever since he went to become like the main person at the MMA fighting, I know he doesn't work for them anymore. He changed, and I felt like he was really becoming like Ariel a bit, and I kind of turned away from him. And he was kind of, the only, person that I really watched, and I still occasionally watch him. But I feel like I lost respect for him a little bit when he started to change, and then even after he went away from that, he admitted that he did it, and it kind of just didn't sit right with me, and it kind of, he was just talking about freak show fights that he wouldn't have normally talked about. I feel like he betrayed his character in a way. Maybe he's changed back. I've watched some of his content, but it's been hard when I've been making my own content. But let's see what else we got. As far as live, I already read that one. Look, my opinion, Morning Combat, Full Reptile. I do watch some Dan Hardy's breakdowns. Don't really remember many names, mostly podcasts like the one with Anik and Bisbang. Yeah, I've watched some from those too as well. Calf kicks against Usman along with injecting his back in the midst of clinching him is the way to beat Usman. I think kicks should definitely be a massive recipe because Usman's legs are like chicken legs, honestly. And Mota Ross won. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you like the stream. And I've never seen your name before. Are you subscribed, man? If not, make sure you subscribe for me. But I think a massive recipe to beating Kamaru Usman is kicking the calves. I think his legs are very small. I think Masvidal was really chewing them legs up early in their fight, which was a great sign. And I really think they're an underutilized weapon. Even though people have been using them for a while, and apparently Conor McGregor never even knew they existed before he fought Dustin Poirier the second time. They're a great technique to use. Calf kicks are the way to beat Jones, Usman, Jiri, and Holloway. Yeah, very true. Any guys with a lot of movement. That's you really got to chop them down early and often. Jiri also, I feel like the key to beating Jiri is a lot of front kicks to the body, and leg kicks. You got to stop that pressure because when he's pressuring, he's writing his game plan. I thought Dominic Reyes would do more of it. He did do some of it, but Burns also. I predict Thompson knocks out an aggressive Burns. We could see that. Wonderboy Thompson's a great fighter and a great striker. There's no doubt that we could see that. I think a big key to trying to beat Wonderboy too. But there's a lot of guys that you gotta negate their movement forward to really be able to beat them. I feel like kicks was a massive technique to try to beat Khabib Nurmagomedov as well. I think Gaethje landed some hard ones. If Gaethje could have stayed upright for another round or two, or even just got taken down late in the rounds and kept chopping that kick and not get submitted, it would have been a whole different ballgame because those kicks really hurt guys. And imagine you hit that nerve and you give them that drop foot. Yeah, Jiri is always heavy in his lead leg. Yep, without a doubt. Man, UFC 264 is absolutely stacked. I'm actually more excited for Burns Wonderboy. Yeah, the Burns Wonderboy fight is absolutely amazing. I'm so excited for that fight ever since it was announced. I've been complaining for a while. None of the welterweight guys are fighting each other, and it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. And finally, we get two legit welterweights fighting each other. With a win over either guy, they should be in line for a title shot. But the way welterweight is right now, it's kind of in a weird position. But 264 is crazy good. It's crazy, crazy good. Fighters that have a heavy jab are heavy on that front foot, which makes them susceptible to the calf kick. Yeah. Yep. I would love to see maybe Yair's going to come out against Max Holloway and try to really chop that leg. We could see that in that fight as well. And Yair has some great kicks, but I don't know if that cardio is going to hold up for sure. That cardio could be a serious, serious issue against Max Holloway. Max Holloway just has unlimited cardio, it seems like. Could you imagine? Would anybody else be heartbroken if you found out Max Holloway was like cheating of some sort? I'd be devastated. I think that'd be the number one fighter I would hate to see is cheating. That would break my heart. Yep, Big Rocker Johnson, my friend. Everyone who's in here, make sure if you haven't already, please go like the live stream. It helps me out. I appreciate it. But is anybody else? Am I crazy? I'm super excited to see Yair fight Max Holloway. Just the fact that Yair accepted that fight. He's going to come in and he's going to try to win. He's looked great, But again, he's not fought anyone on the level of Max Holloway. So, who else is on UFC 264? I can't think of it off the top of my head. I knew it earlier, but now I forgot that quick. I know Sean O'Malley's on the card. Gilbert Burns. We also got, I forgot. We got Nico Price versus Michelle Fajeda, which should be a lot of fun. Sean Brady versus Kevin Lee at welterweight. Kevin Lee going back to welterweight. That should be a great card. I can't wait for that. What else we got coming up? So we got Rosenstrike versus Sakai. That card's kind of, I'm so excited for UFC 263. Yair has amazing kicks, 5-round cardio, good movement, and great Muay Thai. I don't think Yair has 5-round cardio, but maybe I'm mistaken. I don't think I've seen any 5-round cardio out of him. Yeah, I wanted to see, if you see my Cobra Commander, have you seen my Zabit video I recently did? I said I wanted to see Zabit Magomed Sharipov versus Max Holloway. Ryan Hall versus Tapirio? Is that how you say his name? Ryan Hall, I think he's had a couple fights fall out, if I'm not mistaken. He's been supposed to fight on so many different cards, and it keeps falling out. It seems like he's got some type of curse on him. Let's see what we got going on here. Did I tweet that out? I think I tweeted that out. Zabit versus Josh Emmett. I don't think that's a great fight for him at all. I think Josh Emmett's very big, very strong. But Zabit is very, unorthodox. He has great striking, so I don't know. I think Tupuria is going to win. I don't know. I gotta dig deeper in that fight. Ryan Hall has looked good. But there's another great fight to fill out the card for sure. I think Yair's cardio is fine. Yair does win 5-round war with TKZ, and that was a fast-paced fight, and he made it 5 rounds, no problem. Then knocked out TKZ in the last second. But obviously Max has better cardio. Yeah, Max has way better cardio, and I just think it's a different pace. And even in that fight, Yair was slowing down. He was getting beat up pretty badly. TKZ was going to win that decision. He rushed in the last 5 seconds, and he got KO'd. That was the craziest KO I ever seen. An upwards elbow. What the hell was that? I was freaking out when I saw it. Also, this is a side note. This has nothing to do with that Yair fight. But did anybody else get pissed off at Yair when he poked Jeremy Stephens in the eye and then complained about it after he couldn't continue? Like it was somehow Jeremy Stephens' fault. And I don't even like Jeremy Stephens. But I just really thought that was a dick move by Yair, and he looked like a real dick after that. Why isn't Zabit fighting? Supposedly he has some type of diaphragm issue that he needs surgery, and he may even retire. A lot of people are hoping that he doesn't retire, but he may retire. Arnold Allen versus Calvin Kattar, or Cater, however you want to say it. Is that on 264 as well? That's a great fight. Arnold Allen deserves, a bigger fight, but I don't know if he's going to be able to beat a guy at the level of Calvin Kattar or Cater. Calvin Cater. I'm just going to say Calvin Cater. But that's a nice step up in competition for Arnold Allen. He's ranked number 7 right now, fighting the number 5 guy. If Zabit fixes his cardio, he's going to get the belt. He has amazing boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, BJJ, wrestling, judo, amazing kick. Zabit has looked like a world beater, but that cardio issue has been massive. So it's a big if, because if you're only that great for one round, it doesn't matter. You know, I think if the Cater fight would have been 5 rounds, I think he would have lost that fight. Yair slowed down because he injured his ankle. Yeah, he did injure his ankle. I'm pissed we didn't get Yair versus Zabit. I wanted Yair versus Zabit badly. That would have been so much fun. Both of those weird strike. It was just, that was a dream MMA matchup. Yair Rodriguez versus Zabit. Leonard Reed, is Cody Garbrandt finished as a top fighter? No, I don't think he's finished. I think he's finished as a title contender. If he can't beat Rob Font, do you know what Corey Sandhagen would do to him? And do you know what Peter Yan would do to him? So Cody Garbrandt's probably going to be like a gatekeeper, or he's going to have to head down to flyweight. Zabit needs to improve his cardio and his power. Yeah, he definitely needs to improve his cardio, but supposedly he has that, you know, health issue that's really affecting his cardio. So, but it sucks to see what happened to Cody Garbrandt, you know, and maybe he was just having issues in this fight and maybe he can rebound. But if he can't get by Rob Font, and I'm a big believer in Rob Font, I think Rob Font is a great fighter. But with all that said, I think Rob Font would get absolutely waxed by Peter Yan. You know, so how is Cody going to be able to compete with Yan? You know, Cody would not be able to compete with him. Yan would jab his face off and probably finish him. And not to mention he can mix in the grappling, and I think he could grapple him. So I just don't see a path forward. I think he has to go to flyweight at this point in time. How many of you guys would buy the pay-per-view if we had Joshua Fabia versus Diego Sanchez? I'll still watch if I'm around. What do you mean you'll still watch what? I'm confused on that one. I'm missing out on something. Pities and STI. But I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to start scheduling it. One day this week. Or next week technically. One day next week, like maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm gonna schedule a live chat, and hopefully you guys join me on that. And I'll try to do at least one a week. This one was kind of random, but I figured I'd get on here and do it. To be fair, it's not his fault he has bad cardio. It's his diaphragm. Okay, yeah, agreed. Also, he doesn't really need to fix his power. He's so technical. Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know if there's really any fixing your power anyway, so. I think Cody kind of underestimated Rob Font trying to find that one-punch KO. I don't know. Cody just seemed off. And maybe it was just Rob Font that good, but he just seemed exhausted at the end of like the first round. So it sucks to really see Cody Garbrandt, you know, because at one point in time he's champion. But that was a long time ago at this point in time. You know, he lost that belt, right, to TJ. And then now, you know, he got finished 3 times. He lost to TJ twice by finish. Then he gets finished by Pedro Munoz. Then he beats Rafael Sunsao, and then he loses to Rob Font. Cruz should fight Frankie Edgar. I'd love to see that fight. I actually wanted Dominic Cruz versus Sean O'Malley, but Sean O'Malley's too busy fighting people outside the top 15. So Cruz versus O'Malley is a fight that I really, really wanted. Damn, it's thundering loud as shit here. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. If by any chance this cuts off, it means I lost my power. I love Yan's tweets. Did you see what he said after the fight earlier? I don't know what he said, but he said something to Rob about biting off more than he can chew. Yeah, I seen something him saying like, if you can't KO Cody No Chin Garbrandt, how are you going to beat me? Which I don't think. I think Rob Font could probably do decent on the feet with Yan. I think it's the grappling. Rob Font has a massive defensive wrestling issue. You know, I think Yan could take him down with ease. I think Aljamain Sterling would beat Rob Font as well. The takedown defense just isn't there for Rob Font. We've seen Cody Garbrandt take him down with ease, and Cody Garbrandt doesn't even do that. But anyway, it's going to be a while. I think, if Aljamain Sterling has to sit out for too long, I think we could maybe see an interim belt. I hate to see that with a weird, basically unlegitimate champion. Pitties and STI said, the Weasel, Jesse on Fire, MMA Focus. Well, Pitties and STI, I hope I become your favorite soon enough. I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to try to become your favorite MMA channel. Aljo versus Yan in November, Madison Square Garden. That would be the right time frame. That would really be the right time frame because Sterling isn't going to be able to fight till the end of this year. Somebody commented talking about Jesse on Fire on one of my videos about Diego, and I had never seen his channel before. He was spamming Diego content, like 6-7 videos about that. I've done like 4 videos, but I was one of the first people to do like an original video a while ago when Diego first got cut. Best jab in the UFC. Whew, I don't know. There's a couple guys that have a nasty jab. Peter Yan has a nasty jab. Rob Font obviously has a good jab. Kamaru Usman's jab is getting better and better. There's so many guys with great jabs. It's hard to really pick one guy. I think Cody is the most explosive guy, and that's where he gets his power, but its explosiveness wasn't a thing, and it was just raw power. I think Yan has the most raw power. I think Yan is just the best everywhere. Yan versus the winner between TJ and Corey. I would love to see that. I think that fight makes a lot of sense. I can't believe I missed that and I saw best jab. I would actually want to see Yan versus Font on the main event of a fight night. I think Yan destroys him. He has better boxing, and grappling isn't even close. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, but I think Yan is going to wait and get his title shot. I don't think Yan is going to fight another fight, but maybe we'll see an interim title fight, and that would be the fight, But that's kind of awkward. You have a non-legitimate champion, Aljamain Sterling, and you're making your legitimate champ who doesn't have a belt fight for what exactly? Because we know he's getting the next title shot. Whitaker does have a good jab as well. I do like Whitaker's jab. Adesanya has a decent jab as well. I'm trying to think who else. Max Holloway obviously has a great jab. I'm trying to think who else off the top of my head. You know what fight that makes no sense right now, but I'd love to see? Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira, a.k.a. Charlie Olives. Which it seems like everybody's calling him Charlie Olives now, which is hilarious. I'm trying to think. There's so many guys with. I mean, GSP obviously is not fighting anymore, but he had a great jab. Frank Yeager also has a good jab. There's so many different guys with great jabs. Why did the chicken cross the road? He saw Joshua Fabia coming the other way. Dude, I'm so tired of this Joshua Fabia situation. The guy's a straight up lunatic. What is going on? It's such a weird thing. I mean, he goes out and trashes Diego the first chance he gets, and he was saying shit that didn't even make sense. I would absolutely love. People have told me I should start interviewing different people on this channel and try to get interviews with fighters and whatnot. If somebody can get me an interview with Joshua Fabia, I would love to do that. I would love to do it. That would be like the most amazing thing ever. Could you imagine? Because I would cut him off and be like, dude, what does Diego being a drug addict have to do with you taking advantage of him? What does Diego being special needs have to do with anything? What is Diego supposedly doing steroids in high school have to do with anything? So somebody message that guy and tell him to give me an interview. I would love to have him on the channel. But I probably don't have enough, subscribers for him to come on there. He's an attention whore. That's all he wanted Diego for, was attention. And it was disgusting. What he was doing was disgusting. I hope it's over. I hope he doesn't do any more interviews. I hope nobody wants nothing to do with him. What's the deal with Yoel Romero? Nobody has said what's going on. It's some type of medical issue. I've heard it's something to do with his eyes, but I don't know if that's true. But it's such a weird scenario. I was pissed. I wanted Yoel Romero versus Rumble Johnson badly. And you know what's weird now? Rumble's in jail, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he might have got out on bail now for identity theft. Rumble's always in trouble, it seems like. Charles Oliveira has better striking and submission games, but Islam has better wrestling. Yes, that's what I would love to see. It would be a fun matchup. Figgy has a good jab, but I hate that he cuts like 40 pounds to get to 125. He should fight at 135 or 145. And that's why I'm still not all that impressed, because he's beating up much smaller guys. Yeah, when he gets at 125, his body just looks so damn muscular and tight. It's unbelievable. I think Fabia will just fade away in like a month. Yeah, I hope so. His videos that I did got a lot of views. And I'm very happy that I did those videos. Because what I did was covering legitimate substance of what was going on. But I seen other channels really spamming it. Every little thing they can make about Diego versus Fabia or Fabia, Labia, whatever his name is. They were just spamming content at video after video about nothing. So when there's another update, I'll do another video. But I'm not going to just spam it just because supposedly it's like the hot issue right now. You know, it's a weird situation though. So it is very interesting to talk about. So I do like talking about it. But stuff that actually matters and that's relevant. I would love to see Petr Yan versus Figgy. That would be an incredible fight. I would love to see that. That'd be a champion versus... Well, I guess Petr Yan isn't champion anymore. How do you see Figgy versus Brandon 2 going? I could see Moreno finishing it late. He's such a smart fighter. It's hard to say. Moreno is super tough and has a great gas tank, but Figgy is so explosive. And I think Figgy, if he wouldn't have... You know, I love that his nickname's Figgy, by the way. If he wouldn't have got that point deducted, he would have got the decision. But that's a great fight, and it's only 2 weeks away. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be doing prediction videos pretty soon for all those fights. So, you know, I try to do them like the week of, just in case fights fall out. I don't waste my time doing a prediction video. But make sure you guys are checking out my prediction videos for me. You know, I do a lot of work on doing those videos and trying to give the best predictions that I can. And I've been hot this year. Even though all of them haven't been on the channel, I think I'm 14-3 now. Something like that in main events. Yair got lucky when he fought Zombie, yes. Without a doubt, he should have lost that fight. Yair just tried to be aggressive towards the end of the round, and he just got clipped with the craziest elbow in the history of MMA. That was one of my favorite knockouts. Will Mighty Mouse come back to the UFC? Nope. Nope, he will never come back to the UFC. At least I don't think so. I think he probably has a couple more years in him. He might rematch that guy whose name escapes me right now, who he got KO'd by. Ironic, he was talking about how he wanted knees to ground opponent and then he gets KO'd. Which I respect him. He came out and said he's still in favor of it. You know, he doesn't take anything back. I will be absolutely heartbroken if Yair KOs Max in the last second like he did the Koreans. I doubt that. If Yair KOs Max, it'll be early. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, it would happen early. Torin Brown, thanks for joining us. Make sure to like the stream, my friend. Make sure to like it for me. How are you doing and what's up with you, man? Moreno slowed down after his arm injury and getting hit in the balls. The fight was going Moreno's way. I can't wait to see the rematch. I'm excited for that fight. UFC 263 should be amazing. Mighty Mass looked really small at 135. Yeah, that's why he was in the flyweight division. But he's fighting at 135 in 1FC. The competition's a little less, but we've seen what the guy who just fought him did to him. So, you know, I think he'll probably rematch that guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, which is crazy. Diego's statement on why he left Joshua is about due. Without a doubt, we should be seeing something soon. I want to see an interview because what's crazy is like a week or two ago, they were doing interviews together, like sitting by the water, like touching each other's shoulders, and they were saying, you know, we're brothers and I love him. He taught me how to be a better man, and, you know, and then next thing you know, they're splitting up, so that's very strange. No chance. Dana loves Figgy too much because he's an aggressive personality and an exciting fighting style. And he obviously doesn't like Triple C or DJ. Yeah, I mean, Henry Cejudo retired as a negotiating tactic, and Dana just said, all right, fuck you, goodbye. I think Figgy will beat Moreno by unanimous decision, but I think it'll be more decisive. You could be right. I'm not sure what I'm picking yet. I gotta rewatch the first fight, and I'll decide in my prediction video, which will be out in the next 2 weeks, obviously, because the fight's only 2 weeks away. So it might be out late next week or early the following week. Torin Brown. I think people forget about Tony Ferguson's 12-fight winning streak because they're only remembering his 3 recent losses. Ferguson isn't done yet. When you're a fan, you never give up on your favorite. Yeah, I don't think he's done yet. I mean, he's fought 3 killers. I was defending him in my prediction video. I predicted him to beat Spinell in the 3rd round. I thought he was going to get out-grappled the 1st and 2nd. But it's all killers, you know what I mean? Let him get a little bit of a step back and let's see how he does. Maybe when Conor McGregor loses to Dustin in the rematch, maybe we could get Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor. That'd be a fun fight. Amazing fight. Who wouldn't love Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor? How about that? How about that for a fight for Tony Ferguson? Adrian Moraes, KO DJ. Thank you for the name. I couldn't remember. Also, about Moraes, there's a video of him grappling with Yan. How did he look in the video? Big Rocker Johnson. Izzy having a similar performance to Max versus Calvin, where Izzy just looks like one of the best fighters. Yeah, Vettori's striking leaves a lot to be desired. And he was getting pieced up by Kevin Holland. Now, even if he gets some takedowns, I don't think he's going to be able to submit Adesanya. And I think Adesanya will be harder to take down, so there will be more time spent on the feet. And I think eventually Adesanya will probably finish. But it's hard to say. The first fight was really competitive, but both guys have gotten better since then. I'm excited to see the fight, though. Tony versus Conor could have happened, been happened, but he dodged Ferguson for years. Conor, I know a lot of people love Conor, but he's a guy that, you know, when presented with the option to fight either Justin Gaethje or Cowboy Cerrone, he chose Cowboy Cerrone, who had been dominated by all the top lightweights. He came back looking for an easy fight to win, and he picked Donald Cerrone, which for me is distasteful. And I think the most embarrassing thing about Conor was begging to fight Diego Sanchez. I mean, that was literally last year. He was begging to fight Diego Sanchez. Disgusting. Tony's arm and ankle could be damaged for good now. Supposedly he's fine. That's what he said. I don't trust the damn word he says, though. He's the type of guy, he'd break his leg like Chris Weidman and still continue to fight. Damn, my eye itches. Sorry about that. Dana has his favorites. He doesn't like Aljo that much anymore. He probably wants Yan to win because he's excited to watch. He's making a name for himself. Yeah, Yan, it sucks that he lost his belt like that because Yan is really building his name and he was going to be a dominant bantamweight. And now he kind of has to start from scratch again and beat Aljo. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't already, like the stream. Just hit the like button. It's easy. Just do it for me, please. But how tough is Tony, seriously? To not tap to that leg lock, heel hook, whatever you want to call it, to not tap to that armbar versus Charles Oliveira. What an absolute maniac. Nate Diaz versus Leon is going to be similar to Cowboy versus Leon, where Leon wins the first 3 rounds and Nate makes the last 2 interesting. I don't even know. Leon is, I think, Leon's a world beater, I think. And I know we need to see it against some more legit welterweight competition, but I think he might put a beating on Nate Diaz. But we'll see. Answer me this. Can you guys put this in the chat for me? So, usually I put out my videos Monday, Tuesday of the week prior to the fight. But I might do an early prediction video for UFC 263 next week. So, like a week early. If I did an early prediction video, what prediction video would you want? Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards, Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueroa, or Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori? If I did an early prediction video a week early, which prediction video would you prefer to see earliest? So let me know that in the chat. And And the Moraes Yan video, they were just rolling. They were both doing pretty good. It was quite unclear who was winning. Well, that's interesting. Adrian Moraes, I'm not super familiar with him, but he looked great in that DJ fight. TJ is Mexican. They have so much heart. They never give up. Dude, I'll tell you one thing. Tony Ferguson's heart is on a different level. He got bludgeoned to death by Justin Gaethje, and he did not give up. You know, the armbar versus Oliveira tucked it under his armpit. Was just crazy. Did not give up. Let's see. Okay, I feel like Leon might chin Nate. Nate has taken so much damage that Leon might just wash him and KO. I think it's a possibility for sure. Turno Brown says Brandon versus Devison. Figgy versus Moreno. Another guy says Brandon versus Devison is the closest. My man from Kuwait said Izzy versus Marvin. Well, we'll see. We'll see which one I end up doing. It looks like a lot of people want Figgy versus Moreno. Justin Gaethje is Mexican too. I didn't know that. Do it by placing of the card. Do Nate Leon, then Figgy Moreno, then Izzy versus Vettori. Maybe I will do that. I am kind of OCD with that. And I'm going to definitely do those 3 fights, a breakdown for both of them. And then I might make a video with all of them together, just for people who don't feel like watching the individual videos, and I'll do it a lot quicker. Remember when everyone thought Figgy was just going to walk through Moreno? I know. And Moreno came out there and put on a performance of a lifetime. Who do you see going in the UFC Hall of Fame once their career is done? Khabib Nurmagomedov. Usman probably is getting close to cementing himself. Stipe for sure. John Jones for sure. They'll probably do Diego Sanchez too if he's not already. I don't know if he is or isn't. I don't think he is. But all those guys, I think, would deserve it. They're great fighters. But, yeah, I probably will do placement of the card because I am OCD. But I figured just because, next week there's not a lot going on as far as predictions. Augusto Sakai versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike. I don't think there's going to be a lot of interest, but I'll do a prediction video for at least the main event there. But UFC 263 is really where it's at. Those fights on that card are spectacular. I can't wait for that fight card. It's a lot of fun to be had, but I think Moreno versus Figgy is definitely the closest fight on the card. Max Holloway, definitely Hall of Fame. I was talking about it earlier. I think I'm going to buy a Max Holloway autograph. Let's see. It's a good card when the main event isn't really the main event to the fans. Everyone seems more interested in Figgy versus Moreno and Leon versus Nate. I'm excited for all 3 of them. I don't know which one I would say I'm more excited for. It's sad, but Nate Diaz versus Leon is probably the least on my list, only because I don't know how competitive it'll be, and that sucks. Pities and STI. I'm watching you, so you're on my 10 channels. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna become number 1 soon enough. I'm gonna be real. I don't really care about Izzy versus Marvin fight. Just doesn't interest me at all. Yeah, I'm not crazy hyped for it, but it's a fight. It's a good fight. I want to see sometime guy. I feel like a lot of people, myself included, think Izzy's going to go out there and steamroll Marvin Vettori. And sometimes we might be right, but other times guys come and they rise to the occasion and, they fight to the level of the guy they're fighting. And Israel Adesanya is so hyped and so good. Maybe Marvin Vettori comes out and shocks us. I'm more interested in Beza versus Ponzinibbio than Sakai versus Jairzinho card. Yeah, I can't believe Ponzinibbio, his fall from grace. So I hope he's able to get back on the winning track. Winner of Augusto Sakai versus Jairzinho fights Curtis Blades. That would make a lot of sense. I would agree with you. Tony should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think Tony should be in the Hall of Fame as well. Watching from Fetus, Missouri. Thank you, man. Thank you for watching from Missouri. Are you subscribed, my friend Samuel? If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. And do me a favor and like the live stream too. I'm going to start doing more of these and we hope to have more people around. We're building a community here. I think Big Boy is going to KO Sakai or however you spell his name. I favor Jairzinho. I'm going to watch some of their older fights and I'm going to do a prediction video on it. So, I don't know how much interest people are going to have in that prediction video, but I like to do prediction videos I try to do them for all the main events, and this is just a kind of a shitty main event, but it's okay. It's okay. I like the heavyweights. Whatever happened to Renan Barão? He went on to I was actually reading about him the other day. He went on to another organization, and he's just been eating shit left and right. I mean, let me go look up his thing right now, so I can try to tell you a little bit better because I can't remember worth a shit. He has lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights in a row. I thought he went into another organization. What the hell? That can't be right. Did he not? He hasn't fought. He retired, I guess. He hasn't fought since November of 2019. Oh, he did sign with another organization, but he hasn't fought there yet, apparently. I thought he fought there, but he's lost 5 in a row. Some of these guys that he lost to are just nobodies, too. He's only won 1 fight. Okay, you guys ready to be mind blown? Renan Barão has only won 1 fight in the last 6 years. I think Big Boy. Okay, I already read that. Whatever. Okay, I read that. Where am I from? I'm from Maryland, my friend. Maryland. I'm happy for Leon. He's going to get exposure because he's fighting Nate. Also, for those who don't know him, are going to buy the pay-per-view and are going to know him after he beats Nate pretty easily. Yes, Leon's going to get some big exposure from this, but it sucks because I want to see him beat a legit contender to get a title shot, and I think he's going to get a title shot next. Pitties and STI said, send a message on school self-awareness IG. He must be watching this a little bit behind us. His messages are a little bit behind. But maybe I will, man. I would love an interview. I know that would get a lot of views, and it would be very, very fun and interesting. I feel like he's probably going to put on one of his best performances of the year against Nate. Maybe completely outclass him for 4 rounds and then KO him. Would not surprise me. I think Leon is going to look like a world beater. I thought he started to really come on in the Belal Muhammad before the eye poke. It just sucks, man. He's lost so many great fights that we could have seen him in. I was really excited for the Hamzat versus Leon Edwards fight, but it just didn't happen. And then he was supposed to fight Woodley early last year. It just sucks. He's gotten screwed left and right out of great fights. But I think he's going to put on a good performance against Nate Diaz. And it sucks because I really am a big fan of Nate Diaz. So, it's just very, very sad. Do me a favor, guys. If you haven't already liked the stream, make sure to like the stream for me. Do me that favor. I appreciate it. I'm going to keep asking you for it because it helps out the stream. More people can find it. More people can find my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. My goal is 1,000 subscribers before the end of June. I hope I can get there. I don't know if I will or not, but that's my goal right now. I don't see Leon finishing Nate. He is very tough. Yeah, he's tough, but you can only be so tough for so long, and he has a lot of scar tissue. That eyebrow is going to open up again. It's opened up time after time. So we'll see. And then also he did get KO'd by Josh Thompson. And I could see Leon landing a head kick on Nate. MVP may be headed to the UFC. He talked about it in a recent interview. Yeah, I did see he said he wanted to touch the UFC at some point in time. I think a lot of guys, they'll never say it, especially when they're deep in their contracts at Bellator. I think a lot of guys dream of coming over to the UFC. That's always the bigger promotion. A lot of people don't know Bellator. And they dream of coming over to the UFC and making a name for themselves. Look at Michael Chandler. He was the face of Bellator for years and never said anything. The second he came over here, he said, yeah, I've been dreaming of this for years. And maybe he's lying, but maybe he's not. Of all the people in those last 3 fights, Marvin is the only one coming off a win. Izzy lost to Yan, Figgy Moreno draw, Leon coming off a no contest, and Nate coming off a loss. Yeah, I did see that. Somebody put that somewhere. That is a very interesting statistic. 6 guys in the top 3 fights of the main card of a pay-per-view, and only 1 guy coming off a win. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. That's a very strange fact, and it's just something that you'll never see again, We've been on this live stream for 2 hours now, guys. Some of you have been in here from the very, very beginning, too. My man Samuel is watching from Missouri. We had a guy from Ireland earlier. Let me know where you guys are from. Put it in the comments. You don't have to be super specific. But it's just wild to me that there's people watching me from other countries, far away in the United States. Tony can fight Bobby Green next if he wants to step down in competition. That makes a lot of sense. We'll see if that happens. That's a very manageable win for him. I just want to see Tony Ferguson go out on a win. I think if Tony Ferguson gets cut, he's going to Bellator, and he'll probably, be, in line for a title shot at Bellator ASAP. Toro Brown's watching from Mississippi. My man from Mississippi, thank you. My man from Kuwait. Cobra Commander, Los Angeles. Okay, man, we're far away. I'm all the way on the East Coast. You're all the way on the West Coast. Thanks for joining me tonight, man. I appreciate it. Early predictions on Conor versus Dustin. I picked Conor in the first fight because I really wanted to pick Dustin, but I thought Dustin would be too prideful and go out there and try to strike with him and not mix anything up, not try to take him down, not try to clinch. But I was wrong, and I'm picking Dustin in the rematch. I think Dustin's probably going to be able to do the same thing he did in the first fight. And also, I think Conor's power didn't translate to 155 as well as people thought it was. I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with that combo Yan hit Faber with. That was 1-2 switch. That was southpaw too. Absolutely amazing. The fight was pretty much done from there. Yeah, Yan he's looked phenomenal in so many fights. And I actually was high on him before he even fought Uriah Faber. You seen him and you just know that, he was a quality fighter. And it's very rare you can see a guy come in that early. And I did see him come in that earlier. Network Engineer. First off, before I even read your comment, make sure to like the video and make sure you're subscribed. Did Joshua commit suicide? I haven't seen this anywhere. Where are you getting this information? If you have any information, let me know. Moto Ross said he's from Buenos Aires, Argentina. That's crazy, my friend. Thank you for watching. Big Rocker Johnson said Detroit, Michigan. Get Sugar, T-Shao, Caribbean, Barbados. That's crazy. I can't believe all you guys are watching from all these different places. That's just insane. So far away, but yet we all come together and just sit here and chat about MMA. That's the great thing about MMA. People from all different places, all different walks of life love MMA. And thank you guys, man. I appreciate all of you. Network Engineer, come on. You can't leave a comment like that and not elaborate. I'm curious. What are you talking about? It's crazy, though. All these different countries, all these different places. If Conor beats Dustin, maybe Conor versus Charles in Madison Square Garden. Man, as sad as it is to say, if Conor beats Dustin, he's definitely getting a title shot, and I'm disgusted. I don't think he deserves a title shot off of that. I don't know who else you give the title shot to, but he doesn't deserve it off of that. That would be his first lightweight win in 6 years. Conor's an overprivileged little bitch, if you ask me. And I know a lot of people love Conor. And nothing against you guys. If you like Conor, you like Conor. That's fine. But the fact remains is he needs to, in my opinion, he needs to get some wins to get a title shot. At least 2 wins at lightweight. Come on now. He's won no lightweight fights in 6 years. He's not beat a lightweight fighter since he beat Eddie Alvarez in 2016. That's insane. 5 years ago. I'm saying 6 years. 5 years. Let's see. What did I say? It's so bad, my friend? I'm not saying it again. Now I'm butchering it. I'm going to have to look up how you pronounce it. Yup, been loving your channel since I found it. When did you find it? What video did you find it on, my friend? Do you remember how many subscribers I have when you found me? But no matter what, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you watching from all the way, around the world in South America. I'm pretty sure. I saw some YouTube channel that Fabia tried to commit suicide. That's all I know. Well, if it's not reported yet, there's really nothing I can say on it because that'd be crazy, though, and a weird ending to the saga. Conor doesn't deserve a damn title shot. Without a doubt, he doesn't deserve a title shot. But he's gonna get one. He said, "I don't like McGregor." Yeah, I used to love Conor McGregor when he first came into the UFC, and he used to always talk like, "I stay ready, so I don't have to get ready. I'm ready to fight anyone." And then he just became like a spoiled little brat, and he got a title shot off of beating Dennis Seaver. Then he gets Chad Mendes on a 1-week camp. Chad Mendes' fight is competitive, but he gets the win because Chad Mendes gasses out because he hasn't even been training. Then he gets kind of the fluky win over Jose Aldo, which I got to respect the win. Regardless, I got to respect that win. That's a great win. Then he goes out and gets worked by a journeyman in Nate Diaz. Then he gets the immediate rematch because he's a little crybaby. He loses again, in my opinion, but he gets the decision. And he acts like it's some big, win. Like he went out there and knocked Nate Diaz out and rectified everything, but he barely won, if he did win at all. And then he goes on to fight Eddie Alvarez. He has that great performance, and then he kind of disappears. He gets stomped out by Khabib. He gets stomped out by Dustin. And every time he loses, he's full of excuses. I can't stand that shit. I can't stand when guys try to take away from other guys by making a million excuses. LOL at Grinch79. Somebody type how to pronounce that word. Type it out in syllables for me so I can say it right. I saw on YouTube. Okay, I already read that. Also, if Conor wins back the belt, he's probably going to defend his belt against Nate Diaz or Diego Sanchez. Yeah, probably. I was disgusted. I was scared Jorge Masvidal might beat Usman because if Jorge Masvidal beat Usman and then Conor beat Dustin, Conor was going to go up to welterweight and fight for the welterweight title without a doubt. The UFC would have done it, and I would have thrown up. I would have been so disgusted. I don't think he deserves it, but Dana White would be wanting, especially if they return to NYC in November. Yeah, if they do, I hope not, because if they do a big fight in November in NYC, I might go to the card. Will Jones and Nganu happen since Jones changed his management team? I think it's possible. And I think it's very telling that the Nganu versus Derek Lewis fight is not official yet. I think it's very telling that that's not official. There's a reason it's not official. So they're having some negotiating issues with Derek Lewis, would be my guess. Or Nganu, I don't know. I think it's still possible, and I think it's still possible for August, and I think it's the biggest fight the UFC can make. I think it would sell like crazy, and I think the UFC has lost their mind not making that fight. Now I got the hiccups. But I'm dying to see Jones versus Ngannou. Also, Network Engineer, I did make a video about this. It's on my channel. It's about UFC 265. And I talk about it more in depth about Jones versus Ngannou and can it be the main event. So go check that video out for me if you get a chance after this live stream is over. How the hell did someone like Fabio tap Diego in 40 seconds? Who has so much MMA experience? I don't get it. Did Diego lie? My guess is Diego probably lied, or they were messing around and weren't really trying, and it happened. He was kind of putting himself in bad situations to get out, and it just happened. Pities and STI says Hall of Fame Amanda Nunes. Yep, I think Amanda Nunes goes into Hall of Fame. I'm dying. I'm pissed. I want to see Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko 3 at 135, and it's pissing me off that the UFC won't make it. Like, that's the fight to make. There's a lot of people who are currently fighting that I think can end up in the Hall of Fame. Max Holloway, Kamaru Usman, I've already said. Khabib, who just retired recently. There's just so many guys that are on the verge. I think Jose Aldo goes into the Hall of Fame without a doubt. There's just so many great fighters that are still fighting currently in the UFC that'll probably be done in the next couple years. That are just great fighters and belong in the Hall of Fame. I think they'll probably put Diego Sanchez in the Hall of Fame too. Grasso versus Caitlin Chookagian. I'm not really high on either one. Maybe Caitlin Chookagian. Probably. How do you think boxing guys make so much more money than MMA guys? All my friends in my place know who John Jones is, but no one knows who Canelo is. I am from India, by the way. I'm not sure on that one, man. I'm not really sure. Maybe I don't know. I really can't answer that one. I have to do more research. I guess because they generate more money off their fights. I don't know. I really can't answer that question too well. If somebody in here knows more about that, and I'll have to look that up. But it's really hard to really go too much of that because I don't have enough knowledge on that. Why they are so paid so much? But I guess because boxing is so popular in America, and the top boxers make a lot of money. So Shevchenko fights the winner of Calderwood versus Murphy. Yeah, that's probably going to happen, but I don't care about that fight. Does anybody care to see Shevchenko versus Calderwood? I'd rather watch, you know, anything but that. That's a terrible fight. I'd rather watch Valentina Shevchenko versus Diego Sanchez or Joshua Fabia. Boxing is more popular globally. Yep, I guess that's the answer. There's your answer. David Dean, my man, thanks for joining us. Can Mackenzie Dern be champion? Ooh, that's a tough question. I think it's possible, but she still has to show us a lot. And I love the fact that the UFC booked her against Marina Rodriguez Ness. That's a big test for her. We'll have to see because, especially if Rose is champion, if she can get Rose down and submit her, if she can get Rose down, I think she can submit her. But we'll see her in a big test against Marina Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez is a great striker, and that is an amazing 115-pound fight. And David Dean, make sure you like the live stream too. Do me a favor and like the live stream for me. Toro Brown, do you like Dana White? Because I don't. I have a love-hate relationship with him. Sometimes I find him fun. Other times I find him super annoying. He lies constantly, or he misleads intentionally. I don't know what you would call it. So sometimes he's really fun, and you can. The one thing I do have to give Dana a large praise on is you can tell he's a true fan. He does love the sport, but sometimes he's an asshole. But sometimes we all are assholes. So the answer is somewhere in between. Sometimes I hate him, sometimes I like him a lot. I definitely wouldn't say I love him. So, or you didn't ask that, you said like, but you get my point. Do you think Israel's confidence is impacted after the loss against you? I don't think so. I think he's going to come out with more fire in this Marvin Vettori fight, looking for an impressive win after losing to Yan. So I think it will light a fire under him. He doesn't want to lose 2 in a row. But what sucks is, with the way Robert Whittaker's luck is going, I wouldn't doubt if Vettori wins, and then we got to wait for an Adesanya versus Vettori 3, and then Robert Whittaker will have to fight someone else. She will ragdoll Marina Rodriguez. We'll see. I can't wait for it. I don't know if that fight has a date yet, but that's a very intriguing fight. If Usman fights Leon, who does Colby fight? Maybe Michael Chiesa? Colby will probably sit out, honestly. He'll cry and whine and sit out. I'd like to see Colby versus anyone. I'd like to see him versus Vicente Luque. That'd be a good matchup for him. The Chiesa fight would be fun as well. There's a lot of fun fights. Khabib versus Usman. Who will win? Usman. Probably Usman. I think, all things considered equal, Usman's just the bigger guy. And the bigger guy, if everything else is equal, the bigger guy should win. And I think Usman's probably the better striker of the two. And I think the wrestling would negate each other. And I think Usman would probably win. But it'd be a fun fight. That's a fight that nobody ever talked about that I would love to see. Dave Dean says, without Dana, we have no Saturday nights. He has to be that way. Yeah, that's very true. He got us Saturday nights, so we got to respect him. He basically built the UFC on his back, so you got to respect him for that. Burner Boy, what do you think of Adesanya's single breast? Very peculiar, in my opinion. It's a lot of people are saying the gyno is steroid use, and who knows? It seemed like it disappeared a little bit, but maybe that's when he went to 205. So I don't know. Pity's an STI. I think you must have fell behind at some point in time because everyone else is pretty much live. So you might need to click that live button down in the bottom. You might have paused it or something, or somehow ended up behind. But yeah, I thought you were behind, my friend. Izzy versus Marvin should be amazing. Izzy is going to have something to prove, and Marvin is so motivated to become champ. Those type of fights are the best. Yeah, it should be a fun fight. I think Vettori is going to really try to. I just read a comment. I can't but laugh. I think Vettori's really going to try to fight to the level of the competition, and we've seen guys who've looked but when they get a title fight, they really just take it up a notch, and we could see that with Marvin Vettori. Burner Boy says, "Oh shit, you got over 500 subs, man! Congrats! Over 700 now, Burner Boy. Isn't that crazy? Insane. I'm trying to get to 1,000 by the end of June. So if you guys know anybody that likes MMA, make sure to go tell them to subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to get to 1,000. Steven Sunjaya, I don't know if I pronounced that right. Hi, man. What's going on? How are you doing? Toro Brown, I think Izzy is gay. It could be. I've seen a lot of suspect things posted online. And also, there is a guy that's always in the cage with him that I don't know who is, but he definitely is. Beza versus Ponzinibbio. I'm going to go Ponzinibbio. I still believe in him. He's fell off a little bit. Ginge, what are you saying? Izzy and Paulo Costa, I think. What are you saying? That's how the Vettori fight's going to go? Pitties and STI says Southern California. But either way, also on the Adesanya remark, who cares? If he is, he is. If he isn't, he isn't. I just came to see. I know what Ginge is saying now. He's saying he thinks both of them are. I would not be surprised. But either way, I don't personally care. I'm here to see the best fight the best, and if both those guys are gay and they want to fight each other and they're the best, I'll watch them and I'll throw my $75 down to watch them. Pitties and STI, Southern California, man. Appreciate you watching me. Burner, okay. Seriously, good luck, man. We are sharing you like crazy, bud. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, tell your friends. Come subscribe. I'm really trying to get 1,000 subs. Not that it's just a goal of mine. I don't care about anything else that comes with that. I just really keep setting goals. I cannot believe I actually had a goal of the end of May. I wanted to get 200 subscribers, and I just blew by that. So my next goal was 1,000, and then my next goal will probably be 10,000 after that, or maybe 5,000 to keep it a little bit lower. Your top 5 fighters currently in terms of violence and entertainment. In terms of violence and entertainment, Top 5 fighters is violence and entertainment. Let's say number 1. Man, I love watching Peter Yan fight. And I know we've been talking about him a lot on this. I'm going to say 5, but I'm not going to have them in any particular order. It's so hard to rank them in any particular order. So I'll say Peter Yan. I'll say Max Holloway. Charles Oliveira, maybe. Justin Gaethje. And Francis Ngannou. I mean, Francis Ngannou, every fight is just insane. Let's see. Going to that fight, so pumped. Keaton Smith Fossler, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like the stream for me. Which fight are you talking about? Are you talking about Izzy versus Marvin? I'd be super excited. That fight's in Arizona. Heartless, hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for watching. Network Engineer, do you watch Jesse on Fire? He has really good content. Do you think Diego knew the type of content posted on his OnlyFans? I've seen a little bit of his content. I think he's kind of more of like a gossip guy. I'm not a massive fan of that, but, it's okay. He's covering MMA, so it is what it is. But I'm more into hardcore MMA, prediction videos, breakdowns. I love covering all the weird stuff too. But, I think he's kind of just making up stuff as he goes. And a lot of us are speculating. But, it's possible that he didn't know, but it's possible that he did know. Yusuf Zolov is fighting Sean Woodson next week. I'm not familiar with Woodson's. What's his style like? I'm not super familiar with him either, to be honest. So I'll have to look into that, man. It's hard keeping up with all these guys. Turo Brown, are you from Baltimore? Yes, I am. No wonder Izzy let Yan take control on top. All right, bro. Ginge says 10K by Christmas. 10,000 subscribers by Christmas. That would be mind-blowing, dude. If I'm at 10,000 subscribers before Christmas, we're going to talk about it in the live chat. That would be insane. Big Rocker Johnson, UFC 266 should be Glover versus Yan. Alex versus Brian, and Carla versus Rose. That'd be a hell of a fight card. And none of those 3 title fights are huge, so we could see all 3 of them on the same card. Steven says, anything new about Nurse Josh Fabia? No, he's currently a mechanic right now. He's working on cars right now, so we'll see. Piotr Yan versus Valentina and Valentina have very similar stances and fighting styles. Just saying, they're both killers. They're just both absolute killers. I love. They're super technical too. Keaton Smith said, "Yes, I got 5th row seats. Congratulations, man. I wish I was going. That's crazy. That's a great card. I'm hoping for your sake, considering you have tickets. I mean, for me too. I don't want it to happen, but since you have tickets, I'm gonna hope for you, man. No fights fall out. Please, no fights fall out for this man. Just going to the, or this woman, man or woman. He's going to the fights UFC 263. Woodson very long for his weight. I'll have to check him out. For me, it's Peter Yan, Devison, Max, Vicente Luque, and Whitaker. All great choices. Do you see anyone in the UFC currently who can bring the eyeballs and money like Conor used to do? Francis Ngannou. I think Francis Ngannou can become a massive, massive star. His fighting style, his crazy KOs, his physique, his sheer size is going to draw a lot of people. If he can keep KOing people like he is and in title fights, people are going to tune in. I think Leon versus Usman will be a super good fight, and I think Leon, we talked about it earlier, I'm not sure if you were here, I think Leon has the best chance of beating Usman. If I had to pick a welterweight right now to beat Usman, it would probably be Leon Edwards. I think just Leon's style is so good. He has decent grappling. I think he's improved a lot since their first fight, even though Usman has improved a lot too. And I think if he can, I think if any guy like Edwards or Wonderboy can stuff the takedowns, I think that they could cause a lot of trouble for Usman on the feet. But it's all a matter of stuffing those takedowns. If they're too scared of the takedowns, they can't let their hands go, then they're screwed. But also another guy that I was saying can bring eyeballs and money. This might be crazy. I think Devison Figueiredo can become a massive star. He may go up to 135, but he's just super crazy and violent, and he's such a fun fighter to watch. How did the matchmakers make Jones the underdog in a Jones Ngannou? I think just because Jones Ngannou's size and the fact that Jones' last few fights against light heavyweights have been super close. That'd be my guess. Network engineer. Maybe Yan if he keeps destroying people. Hamzat if he keeps mauling people, or Ngannou if he keeps knocking people out. I definitely agree with Hamzat. I don't think. I definitely think Izzy can be too. And for a second, I thought you were saying Yan Blachowicz. I was going to say he's probably going to be gone soon enough. But there's a lot of guys who really can become stars. All right, Toro Brown says Jim Miller can become a huge star. Stop playing around. But guys, anybody who's in here, I'm going to end this pretty soon. I'm going to be on here for maybe another 10, 15 minutes. Do me a favor. If you haven't already, like the stream. And do me another favor. Any of your friends who like MMA, send them my channel. Tell them to subscribe. Help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of June. I'd really appreciate that. It would mean a lot to me. And I look forward to making so many more videos, predictions, anything that happens, any MMA news. And I'm also going to do a lot more live chats soon enough. I'm going to try to do one maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of this upcoming week. I'll try to schedule it 24 hours in advance. And you guys can maybe put some questions in there if you want. And also, if anybody wants to, go follow me on Twitter. Let me put my Twitter name in the chat right now. Go follow me on Twitter if you guys got Twitter. If I'm not doing like a live stream watch along, I usually tweet, along with the fights as well. So go follow me there. But this live chat has been fun. I did not expect to be on here for 2.5 hours. But you guys keep coming up with the questions. Toro Brown, how did you know where I was from, man? That's the real question. You trying to come kill me? You sending Joshua Fabia to come kill me? That's what I need to know, man. You got me scared now. I'm scared of the death choke. Nganu versus Jones, Africa 2022. Maybe so, my friend. That'd be a great fight. Steven says 1,000 by the end of June. Easy, dude. I hope you're right. That's my goal. I'm being conservative. I hope I get to 1,000. I might not, but you seem to think it's easy. I'm gonna do my best to keep putting out the best content that I can, and I hope you guys keep liking it, keep sharing it, keep watching it, and enjoying it, and commenting on it, and then hopefully YouTube will recommend me to more and more people, and then more and more people subscribe. But it's crazy for those who maybe are newer subscribers in the last couple of weeks. On April 21st, I had 19 subscribers. So a little over a month and a week ago, I only had 19 subscribers. And now I'm well over 700. I'm not sure exactly what I'm at now. But, yeah, I'm looking to hurt you. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. You're making me scared now, Brown. You're making me so scared. Don't send Joshua Fabia after me, man. I think you're working with Fabia. Have you ever been to a live UFC event or a local regional show? Would you recommend it? Is it better than watching on TV? I have been to 3 live events. I went to UFC 172, which was John Jones versus Glover Teixeira. The card was stacked. Max Holloway was on the prelims. Then I went to, I didn't go forever, and 2 years ago, in 2019, I went to UFC 244. I went to Masvidal versus Nate Diaz, which was a great card. I got to see Johnny Walker get KO'd by Corey Anderson. It's definitely a lot of fun, but make sure you get good seats. Otherwise, it's going to be miserable. I like going to events periodically, but I'm one of those people who love watching on TV because you're always going to get the best angle on TV. I'm only kidding, Toro Brown. I'm only messing with you, man. So it's kind of in the middle. I think if you go and you get good seats, you'll have the time of your life. It's so much fun. But I wouldn't go and get nosebleeds. But if you do go and you get medium range seats, they do have the big screens up there that you can watch on if you miss something, or they're in a weird part of the cage where you're on one side and they're all the way on the other and you can't see what's going on. But I would definitely recommend going to a live event. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And David Dean said, good job, thanks. Jin says 722. Is that how many subscribers I'm at now? Bro, if that's it, I can't believe that, dude. Before I know it, I'm going to be at 800. I think end of June, 1,000 is a good goal. I'm really looking forward to that. I really hope for that. And I'm going to be just shocked if I hit that goal. I know you're joking around. I seen you in the crowd. Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do these live chats more. I like talking to you guys. It's always fun to get the questions, hear other people's opinions. Building an MMA community, one that's not. I've seen a lot of toxic MMA communities where it's nothing but negative people talking shit. People who are insisting they're right. They're MMA experts, and they think everything they say is written in stone, and they know everything about MMA and know every fight. It's just insanity to me. So I'm happy you guys are enjoying the channel. It's been a lot of fun. So look for me on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll schedule it earlier. In the day or the day before. I'll do a live chat maybe around 6 p.m. Eastern time. So whatever time zone you're in, I don't know. But I'm going to try to do more of these live chats. I enjoy talking to you guys. It's always fun to talk MMA with you guys. I've enjoyed this tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Anybody who hasn't already, make sure to like the stream for me. Any more questions, put them in the chat right now. We'll go through a couple more questions. I'm gonna go to 2.5 hours, and then we're going to end it right around there. So if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I went to UFC 218, Max Holloway versus Aldo, Francis versus Overeem, Eddie versus Justin. I met Max Holloway in the open workout. It was an awesome card. That's awesome, man. That was a great card to go to. As far as on paper, you never know how it's going to turn out. And it was an awesome card after the fact, too. You know, all the results were fun. The fact that you got to see that Overeem uppercut, that Francis Nganu uppercut to Overeem, what a crazy picture that was, too. Eddie versus Justin was insane. And then Max versus Aldo was better than a lot of people realize. You know, Aldo hurt him early, but then started to fade and succumbed to Max's pressure. That was a great event to be at. And that's really cool that you met Max Holloway. I'm actually thinking about, I collect a lot of MMA memorabilia. I'm thinking about buying a Max Holloway autograph soon. So he's one of my next, people I want to get an autograph from. But that was an awesome card to be at. UFC 172, look that up. That was a great card on paper, and it turned out to be really fun too. Let me look it up real quick so I can remind myself. It was so many years ago. So I was wrong. The opening card was Max Holloway versus Andre Fili. Then we had Jim Miller. So Max Holloway got a third-round submission over Andre Fili. Then in the next fight, Jim Miller submitted Yancy Medeiros in the first round. Then in the next fight, Luke Rockhold got a crazy submission of Tim Bosch. Then we had the return of Anthony Rumble Johnson versus Phil Davis, which was a super fun fight. And Rumble looked amazing in his return. And then obviously we had John Jones and his domination decision against Glover Teixeira. So rumor has it Rampage is a TS, man. I don't know what that means. So I don't know if I want to know what that means. But any last questions before we end this stream? We're going to do another one on like Tuesday or Wednesday. So you guys better be there on Tuesday or Wednesday when I do the next stream. There's a Max Holloway autograph on eBay for $35 or $35, whatever that is. But also, Ginge, thanks for letting me know how many subscribers I was at. I can't believe I'm at 722. You're the man. You were here a little bit early. I appreciate you. I think you were subscribed when I was in the 300s. It's crazy how far we've come just in that little amount of time. I really can't believe it. You know, I always say it in the comments when you guys comment. I really appreciate you guys commenting. I enjoy having these conversations. They're a lot of fun. Pities and STI, my man, you're 15 minutes behind, but I appreciate you. David Dean, I think you're new to the live chat. Thank you, appreciate you. I have never seen you in one of the live fight companions, but I appreciate you, man. Tora Brown, you're always fun. Big Rocker Johnson, thanks for joining me. You went to the UFC 203. That card sucked. I think that was, wasn't that like Cyborg or something? Let me look it up real quick so I can know. Oh, that was Stipe versus, that wasn't a bad card, man. What did you go to watch, CM Punk? But it wasn't the greatest card. But at least you got to see the Alistair Overeem Stipe Miocic fight was pretty crazy. That's not as bad as you thought it was. But do me one last second before we end this stream. Everyone click the like button. If you haven't already, like the video for me. Do me that favor. Also, make sure you keep an eye out for my stream on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll schedule it that day or the day before when I know exactly what time I'm going to be able to do it. I appreciate all you guys. And I think that pretty much does it for tonight. Who knows? Maybe I'll have some time tomorrow. Maybe I'll do another stream. So guys, be on the lookout. If any news breaks, I'll be doing another video on it. Whatever's interesting that I find worthy of doing a video, I'll do it. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and good night, okay? I'll see you guys in the next live stream. I appreciate all of you again. It's been fun.